Hey, boss, you wanted to see me?
I don't think that was the question. Excuse me. You caught me with a mouthful of bubble gum.
Okay. What was the question? If I had a minute?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a minute.
You always turn me down.
No, well, I mean, you are the boss.
You mind if I close the door?
I don't mind.
No, get over there. You are the boss.
Well, I mean, it's true.
What?
It is true.
I know.
I'm losing all my stuff.
Want to see something pretty?
Yep.
I mean, other than me.
What is it?
I want to put you back. It's just, I went in the safe the other day.
Uh-huh.
I may have told you, I cleaned out all the ammunition and put it in a separate place.
Uh-huh.
And I got out guns. I opened one box. I hadn't been in that safe in 20 years, looking at things like this.
Yeah.
And I opened one that had 6 guns in it, and I sent it to Bearden, and he just, really?
Picture of the safe with the guns?
And I pulled this out to show it to Bearden,
Uh-huh.
because I hadn't seen it since I bought it. And I know to some people, it's just foolish to buy something and then put it in a box.
Sometimes
That's
you
the
got
way you hand someone a revolver, by the way.
That is pretty. I like that handle.
Yeah, that was part of what sold it to me.
Very nice handle. And when's the last time you shot that?
It's never been shot.
Never been shot. Dang.
You know how you tell?
How?
It should have, it's easier to tell on a nickel.
Mm-hmm.
It should have fouling on only 3 of the cylinders. And if you were to, I probably cleaned it, but when it comes from the factory, they test fire 3 cylinders. And you should be able to tell. But I've never fired it. It's 44 special, not a 44 Magnum.
So you leave it in the box, but then you leave it loaded in the box.
Yeah, well, you never know. You never know.
And that was one of your safes.
Yeah, well, there's only one gun in the other safe.
Did you show that to Bearden yet?
What?
That gun?
This one, yeah, I saw it yesterday in the parking lot.
Yeah, it's pretty. That handle's nice.
I don't even remember where I got it, but excuse me. Like I say, when I pulled it out and looked at it, it was like, really? How long has it been? And then I sent him a picture. I think I did away with it already. Of one box. Damage. Or recently deleted. Okay. No, I don't know where it went. But I sent him a picture. There were 6 guns in a case like that, only a little bit bigger. And oh, there it is. I'm gonna sneeze.
Oh gosh.
Excuse me.
There's some pretty ones in there.
More than one of those are like rare. That's why they're in the safe and not being carried around. 'Cause like this one, this is commonplace.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
Fun.
Yeah. But when I got it out and looked at it, I opened it up. Damn.
Somebody might get the right impression.
Yeah, I have a list. list of guns.
Oh,
And
you
I
should.
go over it every once in a while and think, all right, where is that one?
Yeah,
Because they're not easy to keep up with.
yeah. Once you start collecting, it kind of.
No, but I gotta get rid of, I got 2 of them I would like to sell now. And that's very unusual because I usually don't sell them.
Why do you need to sell them or want
I
to
just
sell them?
don't need to, I just don't need them.
Yeah.
And that one right there, as a matter of fact, has got to go. And there's one I saw the other day that I hadn't seen in a while. And there are 3 on the edge of near the back door. And this one is stuck behind everything. There's a couple of them so high up you couldn't reach them. Well, I can reach them, but you can't see them. You couldn't see them. And I pulled one out from behind some books. It was just, it's not something I need.
Yeah.
But there's some collectibles that I'd like to keep, but needing and wanting is 2 different things.
Oh yeah, but it sure is nice to collect. And
Yeah, but I don't need them all. You want this in writing or just straight out?
whichever.
Okay, I was born at night, but not last night.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been watching your smile for years. You're not smiling. You tell me you are, but you're not.
Okay.
Okay? You didn't acknowledge the Thursday morning smile this morning.
I did. I texted you back. I sure did. Sure did. I know I did. Oh, God. It's sitting there.
Just
I did.
hit send.
Yep, sitting right there. See it?
We'll send it so I can read it.
Okay. It just says thank you. Sorry about that. That was not with intention. I promise.
Okay, look, just,
Finish the rest. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no,
Go ahead. Finish it. Please.
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 Okay, something is obviously not right, even if something's not wrong.
Okay.
There's a difference. You won't talk to me, and I'm not gonna try to make you. Because I made a promise to you and I made a promise to myself last fall, I wasn't gonna do that anymore. I'm not gonna do that. I've got guns, but, so, I mean, you have access the same like I do. But we agreed a long time ago that I care a lot about you. And I can even tell you the dates, pretty close to the times, when I said I care a lot about you. And I probably care more about you than anybody else at that time. And you've acknowledged that since then, and I still may care more about you than anybody else. And when I come in and you're not smiling, and even if there's nothing wrong, something's not right, then if I didn't care, I wouldn't care. If I didn't care, I wouldn't stand there and say, oh, come on, like that. I'm not gonna give you a bad time. I'm gonna sit here and smile. I'm not gonna give you a bad time. Maybe I'll skip that part.
What? No, don't skip any of it. You typed it out. You wanted to say it. So what is it?
Actually, I wrote this while I got trapped.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I go to the chamber and I don't eat lunch.
Uh-huh.
So I let them know I'm there, so they put my name down.
Uh-huh.
And the new guy has a different way of acknowledging elected officials.
Oh, yeah?
Instead of calling out the names, he says, if you're an elected official, stand up. I did that once, and the mayor of Hiram and I did it at the same time, so nobody heard either of us.
Yeah.
So today, we stood up, and then we all stood up at once, and then he went around.
Oh, okay.
But,
at least he acknowledged all individually.
right, he let us acknowledge ourselves.
Yeah.
But when I walked in, Mike Barber was there, and I talked to him, and he introduced me to somebody. And this guy came up to me, and he's one of the functionaries of the chamber. Great big guy that I don't know where he got a coat 5 sizes too big for him, but he's always there. I don't even know his name, but he came up to me and said, Dick, we want you to sit at the front table right up there, right under everybody's knows, oh, okay. I don't know why, but I think they were trying to people the table. This was the sponsor.
Yeah.
And they only had a couple of people, so they needed other people. And Don Barber, who used to be president of the chamber, sat next to me, and some people I didn't.
Oh, okay. That's good.
But anyway, I got trapped.
Yeah.
Because usually I was just, yeah, I'll be DA.
Yeah.
And then I sneaked out.
You couldn't leave early.
And it was good because it was Otay.
Yeah.
And
He was speaking?
It was really good.
Yeah.
He's a smart man.
He is, and he is very easy to, he's a good speaker, and he's very funny.
Yeah. Well, nothing was funny, but there was a lot of good information.
Good.
So I just got my phone out. Not while he was speaking,
Yeah.
but while I was sitting there and just made notes. Now, I just sent this to my friend and printed it out when I got here. And number 6 was, but we agreed long ago that I care about you very much more than anybody else at that time, and perhaps even still today more than anybody else. So I'm here. I'm going to use words you don't like. I love you. I will continue to care about you whether you talk to me or not. Whether you can ever bring yourself to talk to me makes me no, never mind. I don't know where I got that. It makes no difference. I will still love you, and I'll still worry about you, and I'll still always care. I will care very much. And like I told you on October the 17th, 2017, 14th, excuse me, I will always be here for you. Always. Remember, we promised we would always tell each other the truth. And it even says in parentheses right down there, he said with a smile. That's all.
Okay. Well, I thought I've been fine. I mean, today, I've got this head stuff, and I can't even hear. I've gone deaf. This is that same time of year I go deaf in the ear, and I can't hear, and I waited out because I'm not getting another antibiotic for it just the last 2 or 3 weeks like it always has, and it hurts, and it's ringing very loudly, and I can't seem to get rid of it, and I just left and went to Dollar General and got more cough drops and just staying behind the medicine. This has literally been a week from yesterday.
You understand why I worry?
Why?
You understand that I worry when I walk in and obviously something is wrong, but then...
Yeah, just not feeling great and just bogged down with a lot to do, but, I mean, nothing...
Okay.
And then you think I've been like this for a while, or...?
No, just this morning.
Okay. Well, you
were obviously distracted yesterday. And I didn't know you weren't hearing because I called after you as you were walking down the hall yesterday.
You did?
When you were leaving.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I know, but
I would have
nobody
turned
else
around
in the hall, and I'm thinking, well, she had to have heard me. But
yeah, the kids have actually been making a big joke out of it at home. I don't know. I don't know if it's like I can hear some things so clearly, and then like other things
they told you why?
Huh?
Has the doctor told you why?
No, this is just every time this time of year I get that whatever this is going on back here in victim witness, like we've all gotten it, but most of the girls got it into bronchitis. Two or three of them turned to bronchitis. Courtney, Ashley, and Stephanie all had bronchitis, and Julie.
Yeah.
And I got the same stuff, but mine settles here. It's been the 3rd year in a row it's happened. But last year it busted and bled, and then the eardrum busted the year before that. So, and then when I went to the doctor, even with the blood coming out last year, it was just an ear infection, and you'll be fine, kind of thing. So, this is like the 3rd year this has happened.
Bacterial or viral? What do they know? I mean, they can't give you an antibiotic for a virus.
Right, right. But they have given me an antibiotic for both times, as if to say I've got, like a sinus infection or some kind of infection going on. But it's definitely an ear infection. So, anyway, no, I haven't. Yeah, the kids have had a good time with me not being able to hear. I think, and it seems like it's when people are yelling far away at me. Because both kids have been yelling from their...
Yelled yesterday.
Well, both kids have yelled from their room different things, and then this morning they were messing with me again. Like, they know it was on this side, so they're just messing with me. So, but then I can put a phone up to my ear and hear fine. I don't know.
When they start going,
Yeah. Yeah, they've had a good time messing with me over the past several days. But no, I didn't hear you yell at me. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't yell. I just said.
And yesterday I was kind of dreading talking to people too, and because I can't hear, and so several times the kids were talking, and I'd be like, "Huh?" I could hear, and then when I try to talk, I can't tell if I'm talking too loud or my throat's killing me. So, luckily Alex is chatty and talks to everybody, so it worked out really good as far as that goes. But yeah,
I'm not trying to give you a bad time. I didn't mean to intrude.
You're not intruding. I mean, you seem like you've been in a bad place for a while.
Yeah.
So I guess I could ask you the same question: as what are you so upset? What are you upset about, or what's got you upset, or because you've mentioned being upset a couple of times.
That's a tough question.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm really tempted to give you an honest answer, but
Well, do it.
there's guns here.
I'm not using the guns.
I get mad at you a couple of times a month.
I know.
I give up on you a couple of times a month. I get mad at me a couple of times a month. I give up on me a couple of times a month.
Right.
And I say, not joking, but not really genuinely meaning, I get mad at God. I don't get mad at God, I'm just put out with him. It's just, I stand and I know that when I take communion, and you should come sometime, just watch, just wear a disguise so nobody knows you're there. If you watch, Pastor is, I've told you, she's a big girl, really big girl. I'm talking, she's a big girl. Probably bigger than Miss What's Her Name that shook her finger in my face. But she's a sweetheart. She great sermon last night, and she always does. But when I go to communion, I can't kneel down because of my knees.
Right.
And I always did, and even for prayers I would kneel, but I can't do that anymore. So I stand there. But then when she comes around the altar rail, she comes to me and she says exactly the same thing. But she looks you right in the eye and says, "The body of Christ, given for you," very emphatically. And she looks at me, and you can tell when she looks at me, yeah, he ain't right. And every once in a while she'll say, "You okay?" I'll walk past the office, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, and she said, "Do I need to worry about you?" I said, "No, worry." But I just I'm too moody, I guess. I'm too grumpy. And it's worrisome.
Well, if it's part of your personality, I mean, that's just, you're going to have to just be settled with that. But if there's something bothering you, it's a whole nother thing to worry about or deal with or confront or whatever.
Well, no, it's not. I don't think it's part of my personality. I was thinking the other day, and seriously, I have always been overly optimistic. And at the same time, oddly pessimistic about some things. I drove up to, Marlene Dodd, Sergeant McDowell,
Yep.
little short stop.
Yep.
She's married to Ronnie Dodd. Ronnie Dodd's older brother, Jerry, is a retired bird colonel. But he went in the Army. Excuse me. When we were still in high school, rats. He was in my sister's class. Ronnie is a couple of years older than I am, and their kid brother was in my class. And I drove up to their house. Their dad was a police officer. He worked with my mother. I knew him, he knew me. I mean, I knew the whole family. I knew Ronnie. I was telling somebody about Ronnie today. But I walked up, I parked in front of the house, walked up the walkway and rang the front doorbell. And Mrs. Dodd came to the door and showed me and said, "Oh, it's you." Well, that was just her personality. She was just cutting up. But it hurt my feelings. And I turned around, went back, got in the car, and left. I don't think she ever forgave me for that, because she said, "You really shouldn't take me seriously like that." But sometimes and I'd really rather never ever be where I'm not wanted. If I get the idea that you'd rather I not be there, I'll leave. But I'm sensitive like that, and a little bit pessimistic, because the slightest things can make me think, oh, and look at the negative side. But I've always been really optimistic. I've always been able to tell you why something good. I've always been able to see the good in everything, because one of the things, you know what Mother said, all things work together for good. Yeah. And I'm like the kid with the shovel, there's a pony in there somewhere.
Right.
Always have been. And that dichotomy has been playing my mind, just looking at positives and negatives. That's all.
Well, what kinds of things do I do to make you mad?
Okay, you asking me questions. When we got to this the other night, texting 2 weeks ago, but when I walked down to your office and told you I was going wherever I was going, but I was going to go for a walk, and you said, yeah, you went for a walk, and one of those where you walked around, in prayer, and right in the middle of the walk, you're going to call. You said that solved at least part, or something happened that solved about half the problem.
Yeah.
And I said, good, but you're not going to tell me about it, are you? And you said, no. Okay, I'd really like to be somebody to whom you could say, well, here, let me tell you that. Let me tell you why. Here's the optimism, okay? I get all the way to the back door, turn around and go all the way back down to your office and say, I'm going over to get some Berliners. I'll bring you, I had told you to bring you a Berliner. By the way, I'm sorry they weren't that fresh.
We ate them anyway.
I was disappointed.
Me and Ella ate them.
But
I knew she'd want one, and so I waited until I got home.
Well,
I heated it up for a few seconds.
yeah, if you put it wrapped in a wet paper towel.
That's what I did.
But in Germany, I'm used to getting them like here, and I mean they're mushy fresh. And I told you about the one I got Nate, the only one I've ever seen, by the way, and I keep trying for one. It was full of like apple pie filling, and it got all down the front of his shirt because when he bit into it, it was full. Anyway,
Yum.
And when I walk all the way back down and I say, "You want to go with me?" And you say, "No, okay." That's the pessimistic part of me that says, "Okay, she's mad at me. I've done something wrong." And then when I say to you sometimes, and I've said this to you before, one of these days we're going to go over to Thornton Road and get one of those Yellow Jacket hot dogs, or go down and get a Dave's Chicago dog. Yeah. If you haven't had one yet, I mean, they're outstanding. Or, and I said this to you one day too. I said one day we'll get in the car and go over to Crispina and get one of those pizza Denali, But I know you won't go. I know if I asked you, you'd say no. And that's the pessimism. See, that's the pessimism that's working. I would give anything, and I mean anything. I'm not trying to talk you into anything. I'm just telling you, I'd give anything. If you and I could get in the car, it takes 45 minutes to get there, and 45 minutes to get back. So we're talking about taking about a 3-hour piece out of the day. And just talk. Just Jamie talk to Dick and Dick talk to Jamie. Because I know everything's not perfect with me, and I don't think everything's perfect with you. And it would be nice if I had somebody to talk to, because I don't. And I think it would be nice if I were the kind of person you thought you could talk to without recriminations.
Mhm.
You know, and I'm not talking. I'm just talking about talking. That's all. Just, but you won't, and I know you won't, and that's what I said in the note. I know you won't talk to me, but I need to let you know that I wish you would, and that you could. But I understand. I don't understand, but I accept that you won't.
Well, you get mad at me though. Like, I feel like you get mad at me every couple of weeks or so, it feels like.
Well, a couple of times a month, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the pessimism. I'm not really mad at you. I wouldn't come down and smile at you every morning because I told you in December, I'll come down and smile at you every morning and let you know everything's cool.
Yeah, but you've done that a couple of times and you didn't mean it and you were mad at me. Probably the day that I said, hey, how are you doing? And you said, terrible. And I was, okay.
Well, I can be doing terrible without it having anything to do with you.
Yep, that's true.
I can also be doing terrible and it has everything to do with you.
Yeah, okay.
This is the way it works.
So I have to tell myself, I mean, the whole point of me saying, hey, you know, text me, or I think the original thing I'd said is, hey, we need to, you know, face to face or interact or something on an everyday basis. And I think a lot of that had to do with, you know, making sure that everything was good between you and I, and that you're not mad at me, that you're not angry, that you're not going into a dark place. That helps me be able to come to work and be able to do my job well, that I'm not worried about you being upset with me, or that I'm doing something wrong, or that I'm in big trouble, or that, I mean, frankly, I don't mean this to be ugly, being plotted against, being talked about, being planned, some kind of plan, or investigated or checked into. And that was the whole point, is I needed that to be able to work well, to know that you and I were okay so that I could do my job well.
And which is why I send you them
right
every morning, and which is why I make it a point to come down.
But those things are pointless if you're upset with me, or you're mad at me, or that I'm in trouble, or something along those lines.
You're never going to be in trouble. You're never going to be in trouble. And it's always going to be okay between you and me. You don't ever have to worry about that. If it's that outward sign that you need, that's why I come down there. I need to see you smile, and I need to know just as much that we're okay as you do. Okay? Maybe more so.
Yeah, because, I mean, you being mad at me kind of paralyzes a lot of things in a lot of different ways. If you're upset or mad at me, you might have other issues going on, but if you're upset or mad at me, maybe you're upset and you're in here and you're starting to assume things that maybe aren't true, or draw conclusions that maybe aren't true, or your door is shut and then everybody's going around wondering why your door's shut, and if you're in a good mood or not. Should we ask if we could have, Jamie, what's the plans for such and such? I don't remember what it was, and his door's shut and I'm afraid to go ask, and you know, you go ask, and I have to say, I don't know, his door's shut, so I'm not going down there.
You know why I shut it this morning?
Why?
I was praying that preludes.
Oh, yeah?
And it was a little loud.
Your music?
Yeah.
Yes.
But I had to shut the door.
Oh, okay.
It's only, late preludes is only good loud. There's no point in playing it soft.
I understand that. I understand that.
Okay, all right. Then let me ask you this, and I'm being just as honest as I can. What can I do different that would fix all that?
I really don't know. You get upset with me, so I
don't.
And if it's things that I could say I've done wrong, I would like to apologize, but I don't ever know. And then it might be a day, 2 days, a couple of days, a weekend goes by, and then it's either it smooths over or until the next time, or it's just not, or it gets worse.
All right, now stop right there and tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're thinking.
Well, I just won't show her I'm upset with her or mad at her or happy or one way or the other. That's what you're...
I'm not that shallow. I'm really not. I'm really not.
I don't know what the right answers is, but I can tell you this. I know that I never feel like I'm doing things right. And I'm never going to do things right. And I'm never going to keep you happy or make you happy or whatever needs to be done. I feel like everything's great for a while and then it's not. And I never know why. Sometimes I know why, and sometimes I agree with you on it, and sometimes I don't know why, or it's just silly. And I know you're upset with me, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Can I ask you a question? Does it bother you that I care?
No. Is that what you're saying? Is that you care, and then sometimes that my actions are making you mad because you care?
Well, that's complicated. Let me go back over that and figure out what you just said.
I'm just trying to see when you say do you care if I care? Does that have to do with why you get upset with me?
All right, that's probably true in a way that I do care. Everybody wants to be needed. Everybody needs to be needed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I guess sometimes it does. Maybe that's what makes me mad. Maybe I don't really get mad. I don't get angry. Okay, I guess put out is a better way to put it. But put out is a better way to say it. But I guess maybe sometimes the fact that I care, and it doesn't seem to matter to you that I care. As though just, it's as though that's intrusive somehow.
I don't know. Caring, I guess, has to have some boundaries to some degree. I don't know what you mean by caring when to care about somebody's well-being or to care about somebody's day-to-day or care about somebody medically.
All of the above.
Okay, well, and how does that have to do with someone's actions? You don't think that I care that you care about my day-to-day, my mental health, my work, my work attitude, that kind of thing? I mean, I appreciate that. And I'm glad you care, and I don't think I try not to take advantage of that. I mean, I obviously care the same about you.
You could take advantage of it if you wanted to, and I'm glad you don't.
Well, I don't know.
What did you just say about you care about me?
I do care about you, and I do care about your day-to-day.
Can you hold that thought?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Hey, sir, sorry to bother you. I didn't know if you wanted to speak with Justin Spiesman. He's on the phone.
Sure.
Okay, here he comes.
The easy thing to tell you is, you there? Yeah, hold that thought.
I know. I don't remember.
The phone rang. I asked if it bothered
About
you.
caring or not, I guess.
And I said sometimes, I guess that's what I get put out about is that it doesn't seem to matter if I care. And I don't mean to be intrusive. I don't mean to get in the way. I don't mean in any way to be intrusive.
I don't feel like you're being intrusive.
Okay.
And Karen,
You have, let me tell you something. Surprise. You have no idea. I get up, even when I'm not working. Even the day I went to the hospital, I waited till 6:30 to send you I want you to get that smile every morning. I want you to know that I'm going to positively reinforce you and your value to me and to this office every day, no matter what I have to do. And I get kind of a kick out of it. I write them a week in advance. I spend part of the weekend doing that. And I'm coming up with some new stuff, because we've been doing this for a couple of months now. But I get up, and excuse me, I get up, turn the phone on because I cut it off when it's charging, turn the radio on, get my cereal out, get my banana. By the time I've got my banana peel, the phone's up, and I go over and sit down and I send that to you. And it's usually between 6:45 and 7 o'clock, something like that. If I sleep extra 5 minutes like I did this morning, sometimes it's a little later. But I never wait until after I've had breakfast. It's always before I go in and sit down and have breakfast. But then I cut the phone off. And when I get in the car to come to work, then I cut it on and look to see if you've responded. And like this morning, there's the pessimism that kicks in. Well, she must be mad at me. I must have done something wrong.
yeah,
And you're right. That's my making assumptions that I would like for you to tell me I should never make. But that would assume that you're never going to be mad at me. And I don't want to go there. But that is the first bright spot in my day. When I get in the car and I turn the phone on, I turn it off again when I go upstairs. When I get in the car and turn it back on and see that you responded. That's the bright spot in my day. And I got kind of tickled Monday morning because I sent it at 7:01 and you responded at 7:03. It's like you already had your phone in your hand doing something, and it was like, oh, well, that's cool. So before I could even turn it off.
Turn it off, yeah.
So, it's nice if it's a positive reinforcement for me. That's what I said the other day, and you thought that was funny. It is positive reinforcement when you send and you say, I'm really appreciating these. That helps me. Everybody likes to be liked. Everybody likes to be positively reinforced. And everybody likes it when somebody says, I know you care. And it's my own shortcoming if I give the wrong impression. But, I guess that's when I get put out, is when I perceive or erroneously perceive that you don't care whether I care or not.
No, I mean, that's why I asked about, making sure we were good every day, or a text every day, just that is because, I definitely care that you care.
And I'll tell you something else. Believe it or not, this is the kind of thing you don't ordinarily share with Joe Citizen, but this time has been a little bit different, and it's been really outrageously. I quit taking one of the medications the other day by accident, and it changed it. So I called the doctor, and they said, "Well, quit taking the damn thing." So
you're one less medicine down, right?
And this is something I've been taking for years, but this is only the second time today. Yeah, it's usually every 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Well, that's good.
But
I guess that's good, right?
it's great.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
There's go from in here. Friday, I could look at the date, but I haven't erased it. Friday night, we were up till midnight, you were sitting up reading.
Mhm.
We were texting.
Mhm.
There's no right way or wrong way for you to take this. I lived on that all weekend. That was very positive for me. You know, we used to do that all the time. When you were sitting at football games on Friday night. I get a kick out of that. I enjoy that. And I've been back and read through that conversation 3 or 4 times, and that's when I feel like, yeah, okay, I think she appreciates that I care, because I do. Everybody likes that.
Well, that was another time. I think that night was you were texting saying that there was something bothering you, but you weren't going to say anything, and you didn't want to say anything about it or whatever.
Yeah, I had come down to talk to you, and you were busy. No, that was recent. I don't remember what it was that day, but yeah, I wanted to talk to you, but I didn't get the chance. You know, but that's some things I want to talk to you about. I don't want to do by text, although that seems to be a good way for us to communicate.
Okay, well, I don't see why you don't understand that, like, you trump everybody here, and most of the time, like, and it's nothing against you, like, it's not that people don't like you, but when they see the boss, they think, whatever I have right then can wait, I'll come back. So a lot of times people are assuming, like, okay, he's here, I'm out. And so, like, I know maybe Stephanie or somebody was in my office, maybe it was a week or so ago, and they just kind of bowed out when you came in. But it's nothing like they've been talking bad about you or they don't like you. It's just because you're the boss, and it's just whatever you have trumps everything. And it's nothing to be upset about or offended by or anything like that. It just is what it is.
See, I don't see myself that way. I
Well,
have to
you should.
remind myself when I come in here in the morning, and Casey says, "Hey, boss," or somebody, they call me boss, I'll let you call me boss. You know, and I have to stop and, oh yeah, I'm the boss.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they all work for me.
Yeah.
They all are here because they signed this thingy that says they serve the pleasure
Right.
of the district attorney, and that's still.
Right. And it's nothing against you. It's just that it's an assumption that whatever he has trumps everything. So if you were to come down and want to talk or have something to say, I mean, it really does trump whatever's going on. And if it didn't, I would say, oh my gosh, I would look at that person and say, call and do X, Y, and Z and Z. Okay, and then come back and see me in a few minutes. All right, what's going on? We would wrap that up, solve that, but then it's you. So when you say, well, I'm just, I came by and you're busy, or I came by and you're talking, well, I didn't know that you wanted to talk or say anything. You didn't, or I didn't even see you. You would trump whatever was going on, and I certainly have the time to talk.
That's what's hard for me to. It's hard for me to feel that way.
Yeah, well,
I never wanted to be intrusive.
You're not intrusive. It's not an intrusive or an aggressive thing. It's just it's a known. I think everybody kind of operates with that mentality.
Well, it's like Ms. Dodd saying, "Oh, it's you."
No. Or I think you and I were talking. Rollins came into the door. Well, he didn't enter, but then when he realized that he could be a part of the conversation or whatever we were talking about, I think maybe I even looked at him and said something about whatever we were talking about, and he came on in. But even he, realized, okay, well, maybe I need to come back.
And I came that close to saying.
And you can do that.
I know, but see, that's just not me.
Well,
it makes me feel that's the Imperial. That's the Paul Howard. Don't call me Paul.
Right.
Call me Mr.
Right. Or you could do that at any point in time, and I I don't see Rollins or anybody else getting their feelings hurt. I don't really see anybody getting their feelings hurt over it because, I mean, you're the boss and it is what it is. And that's perfectly fine. So then you're kind of upset with me or mad at me for something I didn't even know that you wanted to talk about.
I know.
Or
And
what
see,
it was.
That's what's unreasonable, and that's why, okay. That's why I get mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that. So that's not reasonable.
Right.
You shouldn't be mad at her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I get mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious. That's the way it
Yeah.
works.
I could see that. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand.
And I try real hard not to. I try real hard not to.
Well, I feel like you do get really upset with me, and it starts to bother me too.
Okay, then do this. If you feel that way, you need to tell me that.
Feel
Okay.
what way? That it bothers me?
No, it should bother you if it were true, but it ain't true. But when you think I'm upset with you, then you need to say, "Yo, you upset with me?" Yeah. See.
I mean, I'm not afraid to do that, or I don't think that. I mean, I feel like I could do that, but at the same time, I don't know until you're either not speaking to me, or you've got the door shut, or whatever, and then I have to just assume that you're upset with me.
Well, don't.
Well, if
Don't.
it's true, it's true.
Don't assume. Okay, but if you ask me, however you ask me,
Mm-hmm.
and you can say, "Are you upset with me?" That's your favorite line.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you the first time you ever asked me that. I can
Mhm.
tell you the date. First time you ever asked me, "Are you upset with me?" If you ask me that, first of all, I'm going to give you a straight answer.
Mm-hmm.
But it will also cause me to stop and think, now why does she think I'm upset with her? What have I done to make her think I'm upset with her? Because I don't ever want to do anything to make you think I'm upset with you.
Okay.
I mean, I can. Mental health court tomorrow? Oh,
Yeah.
God, what a day.
2 to 4.
Gotta go to the range in the morning.
Yes.
Gotta get my eyes examined.
Mm-hmm.
They do not take my insurance, so I gotta write them a check.
Mm-hmm.
Mental health court,
Mm-hmm.
wild game supper.
Nope. That's something to look forward to.
Yeah. If it were, I don't like elk, and I don't eat the frog legs. I wish they'd give me more pig.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturday morning there's a gun show, and then if Jimmy Jordan comes up, we're gonna go to Rodney's and eat catfish, maybe.
Mm.
Anyway, it's just, okay, I can, without being silly, one of my goals to come in here every day is to make sure you're happy. And don't laugh and don't make fun of me. But that is one of the things I come in here to do. And you're always, and I told you this before, I hope you believe me, you're always the last person that I pray for. And I always pray that Jamie be happy. Whatever that takes. Know that Jamie be happy. And that's what I pray for, that's what I try for. So whatever I'm doing that makes you not happy, you need to tell me about it. And you need to have the chutzpah to say, okay, you're not making me happy, sport.
Well, obviously it doesn't make me happy when you're unhappy with me
Okay.
and I've done something else wrong.
Okay.
Or you've assumed wrong about me, or thinking that I don't care, or that I'm maybe mean or
I don't think you're mean.
cold or whatever.
I never thought you were.
Because I'm not.
I never thought you were mean. Never. Or cold. But I need to know, okay, because I'm not all that smart.
You're very smart.
Relationships with I may. Now, will you say, are you upset with me?
Mhm.
Or will you say, are we okay?
Mhm.
If there's some reason I think I'm upset with you, again, you're asking me what caused me to stop and think, why does she think I'm upset with her? Are you upset with her? If you're not, then you need to let her know. And if you are, then you need to try to figure out why.
Well, and I usually ask, last Thursday before you left for Callaway, you were very upset with me because Jared was in my office. And
No,
we
I
talked.
wasn't.
That's
No,
why I
no,
asked you,
back
is
up.
everything okay?
I was not upset with you because Jared was in your office. I went in there to talk to you and didn't get an opportunity because I didn't want to interrupt. That's just.
You could interrupt anybody. And I didn't know you wanted to talk before you left, or I would have been down there before you left.
I understand. And you told me you came down and I already left.
Yeah, I think Courtney said something like, you probably could have just heard the door shut or the door slam or something like that. And it was to talk to you about work stuff, but I didn't know you wanted to talk about anything at all. I didn't know that we needed to talk before you left, or I would have been down here.
All you have to do is say, are you upset with me or are we okay?
Mm-hmm.
We're always going to be okay because I told you that. When I come down and smile at you in the morning, that's to reinforce that whole idea. Yeah, we're okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now this morning I was doing the bond, which.
Yeah.
And then I realized I had to go to the chamber and I had the top oil for you. And did you get the chip?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I didn't put it on my keychain yet, but I read the first day of the devotional.
Yeah. That, you know him, don't you? Knew him?
I don't think so.
He's written a lot. He's not the one that wrote. Anyway, I'll tell you what he wrote that I had to look up. It was used in part of a sermon. You will appreciate this. I'm not digressing for no reason. About the twins in the womb. And this was All Saints Day, the year John and my mother and Pastor's mother died.
Mm-hmm.
And one twin says to the other, let me ask you something. Do you think there's life after birth? And the other twin says, I don't know. He says, do you think that we'll ever meet the mother? It's a great analogy. You know, life after death, life after birth, will they ever see the mother? You know, that's he wrote the same guy that wrote this series, and I haven't read mine because I just picked it up last night, and I'm going to read it at night instead of the book that I gave you.
Yeah.
Gave you Dad. But anyway, that's the only reason I was late coming in this morning. But there's never going to be a time when I don't have a smile. And if I don't get down there by 10 o'clock, I'll get down there. And it's always going to be a smile. And I'm always going to say, yeah, we're okay. But if you think for some reason that it's not, then you need to ask me so that I can ask myself, what have you done to make her think that? It would help me a lot.
Okay. I feel like I do. I mean, like I said, when I texted you when you left Friday, I knew you were upset.
I needed to talk.
Well, then I said, well, why don't you, I think I even said, you can call me on the desk phone, talk on the phone, or come back. I mean, I didn't know.
I don't even remember where I was by then.
I didn't know you wanted to talk. Didn't know. And I didn't know you were leaving early. And I didn't know you were going to Callaway until, I think maybe somebody mentioned it at the retirement party, but I didn't know you were leaving early Thursday, so. Or I would have come down here too. I didn't know. Didn't know any of that.
I came back to wait for Steve.
Mhm.
He said, "Are you going back to the office?" He said, "You're not going back to the office." I said, "Yes, I am,
Mhm.
because I needed to pick some stuff up." And he said, "Okay, I'll see you there." And I waited for him until I walked down there to talk to you, because I was told he had come and gone.
I thought I did see him, but it was quick. I'm
Yeah.
right down the hall. Something wasn't. So he was preoccupied with something. Something was going on. You could tell he had something that he was worried about, upset about, and then I could overhear him and his son arguing down there at the door shut when he came to the office. Yeah, but then he was on his phone back and forth during the retirement party, going outside, coming back in. He was very preoccupied with something.
I was kind of surprised to see. Well, Ivan called me and said, "Can I come?" And
Yeah.
I said, "Sure,"
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not sure what to think. And none of this is. All of this is a matter of public record. I'm not telling you anything that I'm not supposed to tell. He got locked up.
Mm-hmm.
Ivan got. You knew that.
I think I knew that.
And that was several years ago.
Right.
Steve had to go,
Mm-hmm.
work something out, and then he got a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And then he moved to New York, moved
Right.
back here, married another girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I told you, when he was like 15 years ago, he went to Israel. He's a very observant Orthodox Jew.
Mm-hmm.
Not like his father, who
Right.
was semi-observant.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve called him, and after about 8 months, he said, "When are you coming home?" And he said, "I am home." Really? And he stayed over there for a long time. He married a girl. The girl that he married was from Israel.
Oh wow.
So he's had kind of a checkered.
Yeah.
And according to Steve, he's a great salesman. But
Yeah, they were arguing, and I think because I was in Emily's office asking her about something, and to the point where I was talking, and I was like, and she was making that face too, and I think he said something like that. Whoever was back there too, there was somebody else in the office, and he said something along the lines of, "We're not going to do this here. It's at my place of work. This is at the district attorney's office. You're going to be respectful of me." And so I don't know what happened or what went down, but then he seemed very preoccupied at the party, and then I noticed he had went out a couple of times and was checking his phone, and then he was coming back inside. So I don't know if he had something going on or not.
I don't know. Well, I'm sorry that it turned out that way. I hope he enjoyed the lunch
I think he did.
and had a good time.
I think he
there, but,
did.
He and Ivan had an interesting
Yeah.
relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, CJ's in California, so he didn't
Right.
see him.
Right.
But anyway, no, I went down to talk to you, and Jared was there, and I didn't want to interrupt. So
But you come in all the time.
I was on the way out, and I wasn't going to take long. I just wanted to. I could look now. But I didn't want to. Like I said, I didn't want to interrupt. It's just.
Interrupt what? Nothing.
Well,
You
that's
don't
what I'm saying.
interrupt.
It's
You
just
do
like
not
this.
interrupt.
I just didn't want to interrupt. I didn't want to. You and Jared were sitting there talking, whatever it was about.
It doesn't really matter. I mean, nothing's more important than you. Nothing's more important than talking to you. And it was probably, if it was about the training, I remember getting up, and then Rollins had just left, and we were all three talking about the training, and Rollins had just left, and I said, "Well, I got up and I said, "Well, okay, y'all. I wanted to talk to Dick about this," because they were on me because the registration ends on the 11th. And then I forgot the dates, and then I yelled back, "Hey, give me the dates," as I was running down the hall, and then I went back to the computer to look myself, and then I had just missed you. But even if it wasn't that, I mean, it would be nothing. So, and if I was having any kind of a serious conversation, which you could still interrupt, or I had like something bad going on, which you still can interrupt, my door would probably be shut if it was that big of a deal. And even then, you're the boss. You can certainly come in and interrupt anything. And it's not really interrupting. It's...
Do you never notice that I always knock and say, "May I come in?" I do that with everybody.
Well, I mean, it's not really necessary. And my office is more like the revolving door. It's okay. And sometimes, like, people are in there and I'm handling something, and then I don't even know if this was handled before 2 more things have come up, and then I remember thinking, "Oh, did I answer Stephanie's question or Renee's question? They were standing here, but then something else came up. So I hope they got their question answered." oh well, they'll be back if they didn't. It's just the way the days usually go, and it.
I can be on the outs with everybody in the office, and I probably wouldn't bother me at all. If I'm on the outs with you, then I'm bothered.
Well, yeah, and that's why I said the same thing, and that's why I was upset that you were upset with me Friday. Why can't he just feel like he can come in and, hey, you get out, or hey,
If I ever do that, you need to call EMT, because that means I have either taken some hallucinogenic drug or have lost my mind.
No, that's not. That doesn't seem unfair or odd or anything.
I'll be down with a smile. Not in the morning, because I'm going to be at the range. But before I leave tomorrow, I will be with a smile. I will be with a genuine smile. And that is to always let you know, yeah, everything's good. We're okay. And again, if you think for some reason that it's not, then you need to ask me, what's up? What's the matter?
Well, no, if I know that there are certain things that are probably going to upset you, I'm probably not going to do those things, or just avoid those things altogether so that it doesn't upset you. Or if you come down and I'm talking with someone and you keep walking, I'm obviously now going to stop and call you down the hall and come back, because you don't want to interrupt.
Part of that made me want to say, don't live like that just to make sure. That makes, I hate when people talk about walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
Eggshells is too late. It's walking on eggs.
Mm-hmm.
To make sure you don't break them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want anybody around here to feel like they have to walk on eggs around me. And I don't want you to feel that way. If anybody in this office can come in here and say, look, you can.
Well. Okay.
Tell me what you're thinking.
Just that if you come down the hallway and there's people in my office, I don't.
What, did I not come down one day this week and say, would you get a minute, give me a call? Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Stephanie, I was having my misdemeanor meeting. Yeah.
And if I walk by,
Mm-hmm.
I'll usually stop and smile or wave
Mm-hmm.
and let you know.
Yeah.
And go on. If
Yeah.
it's something else.
Well, you didn't that Friday before you left, and
I
you were
know.
upset.
I know. Again,
A wave goodbye even would have been
let me know.
a wave goodbye, and then I could have been like, hey, great. Can I approve this and get this registered right now? As they were on my tail about it.
Let me know.
They both are spazzes, and let's get this done, and you got the card, and who's going, and okay, do it now.
Let me know.
Let you know what?
When you think that I'm upset, let me know. You need to let me know so that I can.
But isn't it supposed to work the other way, though, right? Like, if you're upset with me, you're supposed to come and tell, like, hey, why did you do X, Y, and Z? Wouldn't you think that's the way? Isn't that the way it's supposed to work?
Isn't it supposed to be a two-way street?
I guess so.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay, then when I see you in the hall like I did either one day last week or one morning this morning, and I say, how you doing? And you go, okay. And you said, how you doing? And I said, And you said, what's wrong? And I said, it's a two-way street. Remember that, you know.
Well, maybe
there is an enormous amount of therapeutic value in just talking about it.
Right.
Okay?
And I understand
I'm
that.
a pretty good listener,
Yeah, you are.
and I'm not going to psychoanalyze everything that gets said. I do anyway, but you know.
Yeah, but then sometimes with me, if I'm at work and I've got stuff that's on my mind or upset, if I start to talk about it, I'm gonna get upset, and I don't need that. So I don't talk to anybody about stuff. Because if I start, I know how I am, or I'll get on a rant and then it doesn't end. So sometimes it's just better to be like, oh, I'm okay. Well,
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, it is. Just, okay, that's fine. I'll work it out.
Yeah, I'm working on it, or I'm working it out.
Right, and you do. But other times, like I say, sometimes it just helps to talk. And I'm very much aware that there are sometimes you and I want to talk about things that probably are not suitable for the workplace. And that's why I said, just get the car and go get a pizza and just talk. You know, what happened? Well, this happened. All right. And you mad about that, or you just upset about it, or you just sad about it, you know. There's all sorts of things you talk about. And I'm just saying, it just, sometimes I get the impression, I frequently get the impression that it would be helpful for you if we could do that. And sometimes it would be helpful for me.
Okay, I got you.
Do you know Les Preludes? Franz Liszt. By the way, I got the file from the guy that sent me the letter yesterday. I didn't have a chance to look at it, but it's a big file.
Oh, is it?
And I'm going to find out why they terminated the probation early.
Just call what's his name at probation and make him do all the research and call you back and tell you why they that, and don't spend your time when he should be telling you why he did. Their decision and their call, make them own it and make them research it and find out why they came to that conclusion. It'll save you a little time.
This is what I would like to direct. It's only fun
When
you
it's
turn it
really
all the way
loud.
up. And you can go tell everybody, well, I had to sit in that crazy old man's office and listen to this weird But I really would like to see that because I had such fun seeing Scheherazade. I downloaded one last week, La Boutique Fantasque,
Mm-hmm.
by Respighi, I think. I had it on album a long time ago. It's a ballet in one act about a toy store. And after they close, all the toys come to life. And it's beautiful music, but just the idea,
Mm-hmm.
it's a fantastic
Mm-hmm.
shot.
Mm-hmm.
La Boutique Fantasque. I downloaded the two movements of that I like. And again, a lot of stuff you don't really care about, but
It's pretty.
it's fun. Oh, I love that. And I won't tell you where I usually play it.
Oh, yeah. But that's interesting.
I have never seen the ballet.
Hmm.
I love the music.
Yeah.
Charles Dutoit, Respighi. For all of those nice people out there that like country western music.
Not so much. Okay.
I appreciate you taking the time.
Sure.
You okay?
Yeah.
We okay?
Yep. I think so. Are we okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good.
We're not gonna be.
All right. Well, I'm trusting that that's the truth.
It's the truth. It's a good one.
Okay.
That's all we made a deal.
We did. We did. We did. All right. Well, good. Well, we got that cleared up then. All right. Well, I'm coaching. So I'm coaching you. Okay. So I'm coaching U8. They don't have a U6 coach yet. So they asked me if I wouldn't mind another week coaching the U6 kids. So I said, look, I get there at 6:30 to coach my kids. Best I'm going to give you is I can get there by 6 o'clock, and I will work with them from 6 to 6:30 and then work with my kids. So they showed up in the freezing cold Monday. I had a bunch of parents and kids looking at me, and so I just ran them through a very short practice. And, of course, I only let my kids practice for about 30 minutes, too, because it was just too cold. And so and in my kids, I've got 15, which is way too many for a team. So
A lot of subs.
yeah, I'm going to have I'm going to have to rotate them. Mm-hmm. So I finally got an assistant to step up. One of the guys running for commission out there, part of the Harden family, all Mormons. He's going to help me out. So,
Good.
yep. So anyway, so that's what I'm doing on Mondays and Thursdays. It's getting there. So I'll leave shortly if that's okay.
No problem.
All right.
I know you enjoy doing that.
Yeah, I do. It's been good for me. Little rugrats, a bunch of them. Thank you. Okay. You're going to the...
Going to the range.
Right, okay. Oh, yeah.
Putting that off.
Yeah. Okay. All righty.
Kathleen Montgomery. Dear God, please call her.
And she calls right when Julie's not here.
And she just shoot my ass out.
Why? Julie's been talking to her.
Because she has not heard anything, apparently.
There's
Yeah.
nothing to
I
hear.
know. I know.
And
She's not a very nice lady.
no, she's not. Julie talked to her, I think, Monday or Tuesday, maybe. I'll go back through the notes. What does she want?
Just to
An update?
wonder why her case is not on the calendar.
God,
and
she
that
would call when Julie's out of town.
I know.
All right. Thank you. Sorry, she was ugly. That's not right. You are? Can you shut my door? Can you shut my door?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you obviously need to talk to me. What's up?
You know, I probably should point out to you that you run the second largest division in this office. And there is nothing untoward about your coming to my office or my coming to your office any more than my talking to Tom or Steve or Jared in their
Right.
office. So
Right, yeah.
I wouldn't want anybody to think anything different. When I was in here several weeks ago, I was standing over there and I said, I was about to say something and I said, maybe I won't say that. And you said, yeah, that's probably for the best. That was a mistake. I should have said no. That, I disagree, but I didn't because I'm always intimidated when I'm in here. I'm sorry. I got 4 years, 9 months, and 15 more days, at least. And 4 years from now, who knows? You know, I may pony up again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in remarkably good health.
Yes.
I've never felt healthier, and I've lost, well, you knew I had lost 20 pounds, and then I lost another 10. I'm probably good for another 20 years. Not here, but.
Yeah, in life in general.
Another 20 years. And I will just tell you, I miss your coming down to my office. A year ago, it was commonplace.
Mm-hmm.
You would come down and you'd sit down in that chair by the window and we'd sit there and just chat, talk for 15, 20, 30, 45 minutes some days. And you'd get up and leave with a smile. And I'd leave sitting there with a smile. And I'm egomaniacal enough to think that you must have enjoyed it or you wouldn't have kept coming down. And we enjoyed doing that, and you don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And I miss that. I'd like to find a way to get that back. Not anything else, just I'd like to find a way to get that back. My godfather moved from Chicago, moved up to northern Minnesota, Grand Rapids. And the first time I was in Grand Rapids, there were 7,200 people.
Yeah.
The last time I was there, a year ago, there were 10,000 people. And it was a little bit different. It was substantially different, but still 10,000 people is nothing. So I can imagine what it was like when he got there. But he and his brother moved up there to start a resort. I mean, they probably bought a resort, which was not a bad idea. But his brother, Roy, kept comping all the people that came from Chicago, with friends there. So it went bust. And Uncle Bill, my godfather, and his wife, Aunt Pearl, were in Grand Rapids instead of Chicago. In Chicago, of course, they were raised in Chicago during the 20s and 30s, which was, I mean, that was the jazz age and prohibition and Chicago and all that, and pretty wild times. And if Atlanta was a hick town, I can't imagine what they thought of Grand Rapids. But they told me, and I don't remember when they knew it about each other. Maybe they knew it all the time. Maybe they found out later, but they told me that Uncle Bill had worked at Donovan in Chicago, which you don't know is a big publishing outfit. It would have been the equivalent of Ruralist Press in Atlanta. I don't know if you know what that is, but they were down on the south side of Atlanta. They printed phone books.
Yeah.
Huge printing operation. I don't even know if they still exist now that the internet has taken over. But he had worked for Donnelly, and that was his trade, his skill, was working in a bindery. And he prayed, he told me he prayed hard every night that he would find a job, because he loved Grand Rapids. He fell for it just like I did. I was up there, almost bought a house there. And Pearl was praying really hard every day, but they would go back to Chicago, because that's where her mother and her brother and family and friends were.
Yeah.
So they had opposing prayers.
Yeah.
They were canceling each other out.
Probably so.
They were praying hard, each was praying hard. And I think it's possible that you and I are doing the same thing. We're praying really hard, although I am praying that you be happy. I think that you and I may be praying for the same thing, but just arriving at that goal with different routes. But I need to talk. You and I need to talk. I've been trying to come down here since the first of the year and just say to you, Jamie, we need to talk. Just whatever to make it easier for me so I don't feel intimidated when I come in. And damn it, come down here and sit down in the chair and just talk like we used to. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not trying to convince you or persuade you or make you see something different. I just things that I'd like to say and things I'd like to hear you say. So.
What are you intimidated by? Like,
You?
Me?
Yeah, you.
What
I told you driving out of here one time back in either October or November, you scared me to death.
I don't know why. I don't understand why.
That's one of the things we can talk about.
I hate that I'm intimidating.
No, you don't.
I don't like that.
No, you don't.
No, I don't like that. I mean, what do you want to talk about?
We can talk about what we need to talk about. There's lots of things we need to talk about. That just like I say, I'm not trying to sell you anything or convince you, or that's a defensive posture. I have to be careful about that because it's comfortable.
Well, be comfortable.
But no, it's a defensive posture. It's body language. This is the casual. But there's a lot of things we need to talk about. I don't know that we need to do it in my office or your office. Or we're out that little conference room back there in the back hall is a great little hidey hole.
Yeah.
Nobody ever comes in there, nobody ever goes around there.
Yeah.
And if I'm missing, that's sometimes where I am.
Oh, is it? It's a good hiding spot.
It's a good spot.
Yeah, it is.
Take my laptop or my iPad or my phone and still keep in touch.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I say, it might take 5 minutes, you might tell me to get out. But there's a lot of things about which I think we should talk, and I don't, like I say, I don't know that it can be done in 5 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, what's the most pressing issue you think?
I guess just what I said a little while ago. You give the impression that you're hiding from me and you're avoiding me. And I try to help you out sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
staying away, so you don't have to hide from me or avoid me. But I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to feel like you have to. And you really want me to say this now, I'll say all this now. I really, when I came in here, when I went back in January to go see Dr. Watson, not her, Dr. Watson, for a checkup for a scope. I came down here and stopped in your door, and I wanted to ask you, like I had asked you since 2014, I guess, 8 or 9 times. Would you say a prayer for me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There I go.
Yeah.
And I got to your door, and I was so scared that it was really hard for me to ask you that. And it shouldn't be that way.
Mm-mm. No, you're right.
I wrote it, I have written, I don't even know if I want to tell you this, I have written a little over 32,000 words. And that's one of the things I wrote about. I could find it, but I don't want to go through that. But I wrote that day that it was really, that just wasn't right
Yeah.
for me to feel that way. If I felt that way with Leslie or Steve or somebody like that, First of all, I'm not sure I'd be asking him to say a prayer for me.
Yeah.
Although Steve probably knows a decent prayer, and Leslie probably knows too.
Mhm.
I don't know, but I wouldn't feel that way, but it was just wrong when I walked out of here. You said, yeah, oh, sure, you do that.
And I did.
I know you did, and when I walked away, I thought, well, okay, but why? It's just not right that I felt so intimidated. Well, we can, there's things like that.
Yeah.
You wanna know why I laugh? Sometimes I laugh because just keep laughing.
Laugh or cry, or laugh because you're insane, or laugh because you feel like laughing, or what?
Check one or all of the above.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, I mean, you're right. It shouldn't be that way, and I'm sorry if I've been that way. I know I have, and I'm sorry about that.
Well, okay, so see, the other side of that is, I'm sorry if I made you feel that way. That was my bad.
Mm.
I never intended to make you feel that way.
What?
No, you know what, I can even tell you the day, and I told you to remember the day, it was January 31st, when you said, yeah, that's probably for the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked out of here and didn't say it, but I walked out of here without saying way too much, and that's the other thing. You and I need to talk about whether or not we can just say what we're thinking and say what we're feeling without worrying about things going sideways.
Yeah.
Because I really don't want to do any damage anywhere. I'm not trying to break up your marriage. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to hurt your reputation. I'm not trying, that I have this most horrible reputation that I'm known at every cheap motel within a 50-mile radius of Dallas. The desk clerks all know me by my first name, and I run a tab at those places, and all the skirts I chase and all the women. Like I say, 32,000 words, there's a lot that I think I could say, but there's a lot I won't say. But I will tell you one more thing, because I got trouble with myself, not with you. I got trouble last time for not saying, I will tell you this, and I've said this every day, and I've written it down probably 50 times, always in almost the same words, and I don't even know if I can get it out, but I'm going to say it anyway, and you can tell me to leave if you want me to. I'll go. I am such a coward. I have chickened out more times. When did I tell you I needed a minute or two? A month ago, you wrote it down.
Yeah, it was.
And I know you didn't forget because you write stuff down.
I do. Yeah. Yeah, it was.
You never mentioned it again, so.
No, I thought if it was pressing enough, or if you hadn't talked yourself out of whatever it was, that you would come back and.
That's what I do. I spend the evening writing and the mornings during the night, and I think, and I plot and plan, and I get up the next morning and chicken out. I've done that so many times, it's routine. I don't know if you know this or not, I have a very dear friend. She's a real sweetheart. She's married to a really good friend of mine. He came to work right after I did with East Point. And they know each other because of me. But she's a sweetheart. She and I communicate by messenger, or I see her every once in a while when everybody gets together. And I got kind of tickled because I was helping out her daughters, and she said, well, Jackie loves you, Jamie loves you, and that's her two daughters, and she said, and I love you. And in the background, I heard her husband say, I'm standing right here. So, she called said, I'm okay. She said, no, you're not. I said, no, I'm all right. Don't worry about it. And then she was at one of the, remember, there was a weekend of 3 funerals.
Mm-hmm.
She was at one of the 3 funerals, and she just came up to me and said, you're going to have to tell me what's the matter, because she and I have a very interesting non-physical relationship. She and I have been really, really good friends for a long time. I love her very much, and she loves me. It's one of those relationships you value in your life. But that, and I told her that was a Saturday, and I said, no, don't worry about it, I'm fine. And she said, no, you're not, you need to tell me what's going on. And that Friday, actually that Thursday, she said, are you free for lunch tomorrow? I thought, I'll eat lunch. And she said, okay, well, I'm coming. I told her that Friday morning, it was rainy Friday morning, you were gone, Watson was gone. She said, I'm coming up there. You know, she lives down in Fairwood, a long way. And I said, I told her, I said, you need to ride up here on a rainy Friday, I'm fine. And she said, well, maybe you don't need to talk to me, but I need to talk to you. So she came up here, we went in the office. I think Leslie noticed, she notices everything.
Yes, she does.
I was locked in my office with the door closed for 3 hours with someone she had never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
But we talked each other down. And she, the next week, I guess it was when I was in Athens, she sent me a text. I was sitting at the varsity in Athens, and it made me smile the rest of the night. She's a real sweetheart. She'd give anything in the world to talk to you. She has said 3 or 4 times she would love to talk to you. But
What would she say?
I don't know. You tell me if you want to talk to her, and I'll arrange it. I could, but I don't think I will tell you what the text message was that she sent me that made me smile all night long. But maybe that's one of the things we need to talk about. Maybe that's one of the things that I would tell you. But I'm going to tell you what I have repeated in my mind and on paper so many times. I don't think that you believed for even a minute that I was going to read your email December the 5th and go, oh, okay, and walk away without a fight. You would not love me like you do if you thought I was that kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't believe it, but I was hoping that would be kind of how things went, though. But I didn't believe that it probably would.
And that's the other end of that question.
What?
Why?
I mean, and I guess what I don't understand is you say, well, I don't want to break up your marriage and I don't want to do, and you listed several different things, but what is it that you do want? That's what I don't know. That's what I guess I don't understand or get.
Well, that's something else that I wrote down, probably within the last couple of weeks. I know what I can have and what I can't have. I know what I can do and what I can't do. I don't know if you know what you can have and what you can't have and what you can do and what you can't do.
Yeah, I don't know what you would be referring to, but I don't know any of those things. Yeah, and I don't know what logic you put behind that, or what, I don't understand. I mean, it's not something I guess I've explored. So there again, I don't know where you're at with all that.
See, that's when you start swapping questions back and forth. Where do you think I'm at? Mind if I sit down?
Sure. Yeah, you should. Yeah.
Okay, talk to me.
What? About what?
Where do you think I'm
That's what I'm
impression-
asking.
What impression do you get?
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I don't know. It differs. It differs with me. It differs I mean, I have no idea.
What does that mean? It differs with you.
I mean, it differs from time to time on what I think my impressions are. It differs with the way you are, or the way you act, or I don't know. And frankly, I'm trying to start giving up on trying to interpret people.
What would you do away with?
What do you mean?
Just now, what, you got, this is not the way it's supposed to be going. But, no, I just meant to come in and say, can you tell me when and where you want to sit down and talk? I didn't mean to take up your afternoon, I know you got a victim from me.
No, I do at like 3:15. And it's with juvenile, and it's with Megan. But if I need, I mean, I can have somebody else handle it.
No, just like I say.
Whoever handles the meeting just needs to handle trial. It's not like I've met them before. They just need to be there for trial. The South Paulding case, big sexual battery potential. So
Where were we?
well, I guess back to whatever you wanted to say back a month ago. You still haven't said, and then I was asking you what I don't understand what you do want.
Okay, see, this is the conundrum. I guess it's not a trick question. It's a difficult question to answer because what I want to honestly say is that I don't want anything that would make you uncomfortable. And you when you say that you sent the email and was hoping that was the way it would be, but didn't think it would, my response, my question is, would you have been comfortable if I had just said, oh, okay, and walked away? I mean, you really didn't think that was going to happen. I don't think you did. I don't think you thought I was that kind of.
I mean, I said it. I put it out there. I carefully worded it, I guess. Tried to be carefully worded.
Your wishes,
Yeah.
except for Valentine's Day. Sorry.
Well, so
If ever you'd like to see what I got you for Valentine's Day, let me know. You don't want it, I know, but if you don't want to see it, you know.
well, if you're sitting here telling me you don't want it, I know you don't want it from as far as the gift goes. Then what do you think I mean when I said what I said in December?
What I have been puzzling about, and I will tell you what I talked to my friend about when she was in here for 3 hours on a rainy Friday afternoon in January. That was a fun day. And she read your email. What I have gone over, I don't know how many times, was, and I can almost quote the damn thing to you, I had no input in that. You didn't say, here, let me talk to you about this, this is what I would like. You just sent me an email. But you have left me to wonder what personal reasons. I can guess, I can think, I can wonder. And I'll tell you. I'll maybe tell you more than I should. I don't think I can do that. I don't think there is anything that's more than I should. Christmas night, I customarily go right to sleep. But Christmas night, I didn't go to sleep for about an hour and a half after I laid down. And I went back over every conversation and interaction that we had had since October the 11th. And by the time I went to sleep, I think I had my own idea about what your personal reasons were. And the next day, I had an opportunity that I had the afternoon to myself, and I went for a walk. I walked about 4.5 miles in the cold. It was cold the day after Christmas. Pretty good. But, and I kept trying to pick it apart and see where I was wrong. And I still think I know, but obviously I don't know because you never told me. I would like to have had some input. I would like to have had a conversation about it rather than just get an email. That would have been, from my perspective, it would have been a little easier. But again, she and I talked at length. She's got bad problems, and she needed to talk to me about, and that's the kind of relationship we have. She had bad problems. Both of her daughters have got bad problems. And I had tried to help them, but now that I'm not in private practice, it's more difficult for me to do that. But I'm sorry if this bothers you to know that you have been the subject of conversation with other people. I still have no idea what the personal reasons were factually. I know what I think. But, and based on things that you said and things that you told me and things that I remember in those 6 weeks, I still think I have a pretty good idea. But I don't know, you never told me.
What do you think they are? Well,
I'm not making light of it. I'm just thinking how many times I have had this conversation with you in my mind. Late at night, early in the morning, during the day. And how many times I've said, and then when it comes, like I said, I chicken out. So I guess my question would be, if I told you what I think, would you tell me whether I was right or wrong?
possibly. Correct, possibly, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, let me put it easily. No, I won't even say that. That's me. I don't think you built that wall for me.
Okay.
I think you built it some time back. It wasn't for me. I think someone has said to you in the past somewhere, Jamie, I'm in love with you. He may have even used the same words that I'm using. He may have said the same things I'm saying. I think that you got hurt really bad. And I don't know when or how or can imagine what the motive might have been, but I think it was also, if I'm in love with you, you must be in love with me. And I laughed one time when I told my friend, I said, you know, I'm in love for the last time, me in love in my life. And I said, you know, I've often thought, or I have thought, not often, but I thought maybe Jamie's in love for the last time in her life. Then we were talking again one time, and I said, it's also occurred to me that Jamie may be in love for the first time in her life. Because she said to me one time, well, she said to me on October the 14th, that she wasn't sure. You said to me, I'm not sure I know what it means to be in love anymore. And we talked about that too. And what it really is like to fall in love with somebody unexpectedly. It kind of grows on you, and all of a sudden it's there. And I don't know when, and I don't know who, and I don't want to know who, because even a shallow grave has 50 or 60 cubic feet of dirt that needs to be, you know. And I left my shovel last night, and I had to find a shovel, and I don't like going out there. Anyway, I just think you got hurt real bad, and you built a wall because you didn't want to get hurt again. I don't blame you. I will tell you that somewhere in my office, well, I won't tell you that. You think I was nuts.
What?
I bought you a grappling hook. And wrote a cute note to go with it. Just climb over that wall. And I went walking the next day, and I walked for probably 2 hours. I did 4 miles in about 2 hours. And I kept trying to think what it was, but everything you said, not everything you said, but a great many things that you said, and a lot of things that you did, made me believe that someone had hurt you really bad, and that you don't want to get hurt again. I don't blame you for that. And then, see, we get into the part about my not selling you me, because I don't want to sell you me. I'm not selling you a damn thing, excuse me. I don't want to try to persuade you or convince you. And I have written down, it's like I said, I don't think you think I'm that kind of person. I hope you don't think I'm that kind. But I wrote down the other day that I can remember 2 occasions when I stood in front of you and you were crying pretty hard. And I just wanted so desperately to just reach out and put my arms around you and pull you up close to me and hold on to you and say, Jamie, don't worry about it, sweetheart. It'll be okay. I'm not going to let anything happen. I will take care of you. I don't know who it was, and I don't want to know, but I'll tell you this, it wasn't me. I'm not him. I'm Dick Donovan. I'm the guy that came when you called and tried to fix it, and did, as far as I can tell. And I did not take advantage of you on either of those 2 occasions when you were pretty vulnerable. When you walked out on October 14th, when you walked out, and I'm going to tell you this, you can laugh if you want to, I have never seen you more beautiful in all my life than you were when you walked out of there. You weren't dressed fit to kill, you weren't dressed to go to work, you were dressed to go to Walmart. But you were the prettiest I've ever seen you. And I really wanted to just reach out and just put my arms around you, but I didn't do that. And after we went to court, and you were standing there by your car crying, I wanted to reach out and just put my arms around you, but I didn't do that because that is not who I am. It ain't me. I am not trying to get you into bed somewhere. I am not trying to seduce you. That is not anything even remotely like I'm after. That's just not who I am.
Well, what are you after?
No, back up.
That's where I'm trying to get to.
No, you said possibly.
Right, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, that's definitely part of part of the reasons. There are several personal reasons. And then if I tell you, then it's not personal anymore, or you try to do something about it, or you'll try to fix it, or you'll try to, you know, cross it off, or make me feel better about it, or I don't know. That's why I just said if I left it personal reasons, then it has to, I mean, it'd have to stay personal, and you couldn't do anything about it. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is very true. And not just once, but it seems like multiple occasions and continual. The wall just gets thicker and bigger and better and higher or more sturdy.
You do know that I considered calling the governor, right?
For what?
See if he would appoint me as an administrative law judge. So you wouldn't have to hire from me.
You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have to feel like you had to do that.
You shouldn't feel like you can't tell me things. I can tell you, I have a remarkable memory for dates and crap like that. I can tell you that on November the 2nd, we walked out of the elevator back in the back, and I said, you need to remember that you agreed that nobody cares about you as much as I do right now, and you stood right there and said, yeah, you're right. Now, I don't know if you still think that way, but I still think that way. I'm not sure anybody else cares about you like I do. But I would rather you not feel like you can't tell me something just because you think I'm going to try to fix it. You told me sitting in the car, sitting in the Tahoe in Cedartown, that Nick checks your phone. You told me that things were not good at home. And you also said I was going to come down and talk to you, which you never did. Instead of talking to me, which you could do, you said you knew I was fond of you. I can look back at so many different times when we were swapping smiles and cutting up with each other. Anyway, you never came and talked to me about it. On the other hand, on that Wednesday, when I said, I wish you were here, you said, me too. Okay, if you felt that way, and if you still feel that way, there shouldn't be any reason why you can't tell me or talk to me about anything. And trust me. If you don't trust me, just tell me you don't trust me. And if that's true, then it would be better if you told me you don't trust me.
Yeah, I guess because I don't know what your intentions are. That's the thing. I mean, there's got to be intentions. It's not just, oh, well, this is how I feel. There has to be some kind of intention or some kind of something that you would like in return.
Why?
Because that's the way it works. Especially in love or a love situation. I mean, people don't just love somebody who doesn't love them back. Or they expect to be loved back.
Is this time for me to leave?
I didn't say that. I'm not trying to make you leave or not leave. I'm just saying that's just how it is. Or that's how I believe it to be. Did I say something wrong? I mean, I don't know what. I don't know what you want, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't know what you want from me. And you say not a damn thing, usually, quote unquote. But, I mean, the intentions don't have to be bad intentions, but people do want something. What?
Sorry.
What?
I guess unfortunately for the world, I'm not a magician, nor for all that being the district attorney can be a very, we've had this discussion before, a very powerful position. When it comes to certain things, I have no power whatsoever. None. And I can be intimidated and be frightened just like anybody else. And I can't go back and undo whatever harm was done to you. I can't fix that. I can't make it unhappen. I can't, like I say, I'm not surprised. I told you. I mean, that was kind of an obvious answer. You didn't build that wall for me. You keep building the wall, and then I come along, and as far as you're concerned, I'm just like everybody else. And I guess that's understandable. Maybe I'd be better off if I were like somebody else, or like everybody else. That way I would be shallow and
Well, if it's something about being two people being in love, obviously you want to give as well as receive. Both parties. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing malicious about wanting to receive feelings back or love back or any of that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's, you don't necessarily give it to receive. It's just the way it works. And some people's love language, like myself, is to do for others and to do things, to check off things on a list.
That's how you demonstrate. That's why you have a signed framed print. That's why you have the little angel sitting up there. That's why you have the things that I gave you, which was pointed out to me by my friend that might have been seen by you as my trying to buy your affection or my trying to. Well, I mean, I guess that's the best way to put it. And all I was trying to do was demonstrate that I was genuinely in love with you. And was trying to demonstrate it, because I sure couldn't demonstrate it any other way. I could not take you off to a motel somewhere or some other place. I could not do the outward conventional things that you do with somebody with whom you fall in love, because it's not the right setting for that. You know, and that was, like I say, and that's what's funny, was I came back to Germany thinking, seriously, the whole time, I need to go down and tell Jamie, look, if you just want me to stop all of this, I'll do that. And then, you know, there was an email, And I understand what you're saying, I really do. But, again, I was never in love with her, but, like I said, we love each other very much, and she makes no secret of it, even her husband, like I say, he was tickled. But she's my very dear friend. And we talked about all of that. And I keep wanting to answer your question. I'm not sure how to answer your question because I don't know what you want. You've never said. You've asked me repeatedly what I want. And you've never said one time what you want. Except maybe on October the 14th, I got more of a sense then than ever before or since.
Well, I don't know. The only thing I keep wanting to say is like, I'm married. You don't have those kind of discussions. You don't explore those kind of feelings. You don't do any of that, when you're married with someone else. I guess it's pretty black and white.
I think I'm right.
About which parts?
I don't want to make you mad.
Oh, it won't make me mad.
I don't think you've ever been in love before.
Maybe I haven't.
I don't think you have.
But it still doesn't negate the fact that I'm married.
No, I got married one time, and the more I think about that, the less I think I was in love. I think I could go back and very easily go over and, I don't want to say psychoanalyze, but I think I could. I think I could go back and review my emotional state in 1970, and my youthful stupidity that led me to get married the first time, and see, I don't know what your history is. I don't know. I don't know if you were the prom queen, you should have been, or the homecoming queen, or whatever they called it at East Paulding. I don't know whether you were the shining star, but you're a beautiful woman, so I'm assuming you've always been just exactly that. And I don't know if Nick was a football star or a jock or what. I don't know how you came to marry him. It's none of my business. But again, I went through at least that. So I can't, I mean, that's the kind of thing that I would like to sit and talk to you about. I'm not the be all and do all. Hell, I ain't no prize. I know that. And we sat in my office, and she looked at me and she said, "Exactly what have you got to offer?" I'm serious. We sat there, and I'll tell you, because it was really a great afternoon. She's a sweet lady, and you like her. she came in and I said, I'm fine, I don't need this. She said, no, Hal, you're not fine. And I wasn't, and we talked about her daughters. One of her daughters is married to a man that's 51, and he's a lot older than she is, and he's had his leg amputated, and he has kidney dialysis and all that kind of stuff. And the other daughter had screwed up and let her license be revoked, not suspended, but revoked. I mean, she had all these problems, and we talked for an hour about that, and I told her, well, let me see what I can do, and I'll tell you to do this, and I think Jackie can do that. We'll see if we can fix the problems, because I was genuinely interested in helping. I've known her daughter. I knew her before she got married the first time. I handled her divorce. Again, she knows the husband too, she's married now because of me. They met because of our relationship. And then I said, I'll see what I can do. I can refer Jamie to this person, and I can do this, see what I can do for Jackie. Like I said, we talked for about an hour, and then she said, so, what's going on with you? And I said, no, there's nothing for you to get worried about. She said, well, you need to tell me. And I said, no, it's all right. She said, yeah, you need to tell me. I said, what do you think's wrong? She said, I think some pretty girl has caught your eye. Yeah, okay. And like I say, we talked for a long time. And she finally, she looked at me and she said, what have you got to offer? And I said, well, in some situations, all you've got to offer is love. That's all there is. But sometimes, just to, just to get up in the morning. I don't know whether things have improved at home for you or not. I don't know whether they're better or worse. I don't know if you genuinely think that you can fix it, or whether it's just, I'm going to keep trying as long as it's humanly possible for me to try. But I like to think that it would be better if you woke up in the morning knowing, or believing, but knowing that you were leaving there, whether it's positive or negative, or just everything's level for the time being, waiting for the next upheaval, and come here where, for sure and certain, big, tall guy at the end of the hall with a cheesy mustache will tell you when you walk in his office that he loves you, and he cares about you, and he hopes you had a good night, and he hopes you had a great day. And I can't think that it would be a bad thing to leave in the afternoon, no matter what you're going to, whether you're going to your dad's on Monday night, or whether you're going to coach soccer, or whether you're going home to someone that you just had a very good conversation with, or going home to somebody that you had a tiff with on the phone, whether you're going home to somebody that's already indicated that it's going to be a bad night. I can't think that it would be a bad thing to know that you can walk down to my office, or you can see me walk by and know that I would lean in and say, I hope you have a great night, sweetheart. Don't forget that I love you. Man, it can't be a bad thing. If it's nothing more than that, if you never touched me again, if you never came within 10 feet of me again, I can't think that it would be a bad thing for you to know that there's somebody that, no matter what else happens in the world, no matter what other bad things or good things happen, no matter what kind of day you have, what kind of weekend you have, you know that Monday morning there. Or at the other end of the phone, that's the other thing, when we used to send texts back and forth. I can't even send you the damn text that I used to and I got a code built in, I just type in AQ and it types out off whack, anything I need to know. I used to send you that all the time, it's what I sent you October 11th. I can't even do that anymore. You don't want that, that's too personal.
Well, I mean, I feel like you're asking about things around the office too, and that you're trusting that I would let you know if stuff was going on that I knew about. So, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that.
And I figure you know damn well by now that I also have, how are you? Because I told you, I've been in love with you for about 4 years, and that was back in October, so what is it, going on 5 years now? You must have figured out that I was asking more than just what's happening in the office. And without putting too fine a point on it, yeah, you're married, I know that, I'm well aware of that. But you were married when you said that, me too. And I was married when I said wish you were here. That has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with it. And that may be a foreign concept to you as well, but again, and you see, that's, to me, this is the hard part. Maybe, I know that I've been involved once. I have probably been involved twice. I know that I'm involved now, and that would be the second or third time. And I've got some idea, I don't wanna walk out of here because I'm afraid you'll turn the lights out and leave while I'm gone. But about a week ago, I copied page 101 out of my diary, one of my multi-volume diary. And I typed it out because I don't want you to have to read my handwriting. But I typed it out because I wrote down something a long time ago. And I wanted to hand it to you and say, this is the way it's supposed to be. In another world, in another life, in another lifetime, I'm not pretty and you are drop dead gorgeous. I wouldn't get a second look, and I know that, I'm aware of that, I know I'm not pretty. But I would have pursued you, and I would give anything in the world to be able to show you and demonstrate to you, which I have sort of been trying to do, how much fun it can be to be in love. Even if it's one of those that happens at a distance, and that's what she wants to tell you. She sent me, I'm going to tell you anyway, damn it. I hope I don't go home and regret this. I wish you'd say something. I wish you'd say anything. You have not given me since November the 28th even the slightest glimmer that you care in any way.
I very much care. I very much care.
She sent me, I was sitting at the varsity in Athens, you know, when I was up there at the conference. And I told Watson, she said, Jamie's thinking about going to that conference, and I said, okay, I may have to cancel.
What conference?
The one in January up in Athens.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Because I wasn't going to go up there if you were there. I would not have done that to you. But I was sitting, I walked, I stayed at the Holiday Inn downtown. I parked the car when I got there, it was the snowstorm. And I parked the car when I got there, and I walked everywhere I went. I walked up to the varsity. It was a good way. And I was sitting there eating hot dogs. And just out of the cold blue, she sent me a text. And I don't even remember what the opening was, but I said, well, I've done this for Jackie, and I want to call. I want Jamie to be sure to call the other her daughter thing. To call after I report, and I'll call Ben Affleck. He's a good friend of mine, and make sure that they know what she needs. And she's going to ask you, I want to talk about that. How are you? Because this was the week after she was here, or 2 weeks after she was here, and we went back and forth a little bit, and she said, it was a very sweet thing for her to say. And she and I have had a very good relationship. I would love to be able to just demonstrate to you in every conceivable way how much fun it can be to be involved. It is. It's great fun. It's a lot of smiles. And there's downsides to it too. But I will tell you this. I will tell you, and I will. It just makes a difference, that's all. To know that somebody loves you and that you love somebody, and that it's one of those relationships. It doesn't have to be physical, I don't know if physical. And I'll even tell you this. She said, she told me, I think she told me sitting there, that she remembered, after we were talking about you, she stayed about 3 hours. She said she remembered and when she said all that instead of crying, she said she remembered how excited she used to get when she would see one of my staff members, I have about 15 people, coming down to her area. She was in the fine jewelry department. She sold fine jewelry. Note from me. She said she used to get excited. That was so much fun to anticipate whatever I had put in the note. She knew she was going to smile. That's what it means to me. Can I go get it, or would you?
Get what?
What I typed out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I can ask Ross to bring it to me.
What do you mean, from her office, or I mean, it's what? Yeah.
Yeah,
What would you need Tiffany to bring it for you? You want to get it? Get it. Okay.
And I've written it down. And I believe it to be true, or I wouldn't tell you. I have never loved anybody like I love you. So, there's no guns in here, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay, good.
Let me tell them. Hi.
Hi, are you waiting to have a Mark Lyle?
Yeah, Jennifer's going to handle that, and she's probably with Megan. It's going to be a meeting with Jennifer and Megan.
Hotel?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, and they're going to handle that. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But that also determines how you act and react to people. I love you very much. I'm sorry if that offends you for me to say that. I know you got to where you didn't want to hear it. But it also means that whatever makes you comfortable is good for me, and whatever makes you uncomfortable is bad for me. And the last thing I want to do is make you uncomfortable. And if I've done that today, I'm sorry. This is not what I intended. I just wanted to ask you, don't you think we need to talk?
Yeah.
That thump you heard was the ball landing in your court.
I heard it. I heard it. Yeah, I would agree that things need to go back to being where at least we talk and there's some kind of an interaction there. I know we don't have much of that, but I mean beyond like back what we had in the time you're referring to, where we could talk and laugh and talk about things and walk away and everything was fine and there was nothing to worry about. There's no concern with how it'd be taken after I left or whatever. I would like to go back to that too. I don't know how that happens. I'd like to see things go back to being that way. I guess for a part of me, I want to come to work. I want to do a good job. I do want to make you proud. I do want to represent the office well. But beyond that, that's, in this phase of my life, that's exactly what I want. And that's what I need, is just to come here and do my job and feel free and okay to do that.
Okay.
I don't know what else to say. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to go into all the personal reasons behind it, because I know you. I know what you do. You would check them off, or you would cross them out, or not discounting them, but you would eliminate them for me, or try to put a different perspective on those things for me, or try to fix them. And none of those need to happen. Or you don't need to be in the position to feel like it needs to happen.
Can I ask you why not? What's wrong with, I don't know that I would do that. If you told me, these are the reasons, but I don't want you to do anything about it, I think I've got enough self-discipline to know what I can and can't do. I've already told you that. But what would be wrong with my doing that? What would be wrong with my, what would be wrong with that?
I mean, some things are just putting you in the position to do anything about that you shouldn't do anything about. I mean, one example, and this is not the main personal reasons, there are several, but one is like, if my husband knew these conversations had taken place, what do you think a husband would do or react, or how would he respond? If you send me a text that some of the text messages that we've sent back and forth, or that you've sent me, or emails, and he reads those, and if I didn't delete them before he sees them, I mean, what husband wouldn't have something to say, or have an opinion, or react, or do something about?
I'm squared away on that.
And it's okay, and I appreciate that. Enlighten me on how you are squared away on that. How do you rationalize that, or at peace with that, or help me understand what that means, looks like for you.
I'm not sure what you're asking.
You're square with that. What does that mean?
I understand that. I understand exactly what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that it would not be a good thing. It would be a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be something I'm not in a position to fix. I'm not in a position to go hold him face down in Pumpkin Vine Creek and slap him upside the head with a 45 and say, you shouldn't treat her that way. If you really love her, you wouldn't treat her that way.
But what husband wouldn't read some of those texts and be like, okay, I got to stop this?
I understand that. I repeat, I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Have I sent you any texts since you asked me not to?
Mm-mm.
Have I done anything except the envelope on Valentine's Day? Did I stop when you asked me to stop? Okay. You think I wanted to?
Okay, well, prior to that, anything prior to that, what would I do? What am I supposed to do with that? I don't delete a text message or an email you sent me, or anything else, and he sees that and wants to know what's going on. What's to stop him from coming up here and confronting you and asking you about it? Asking me about it, to explain it. I mean, I think any husband would probably do the same.
I'm not in a position to fix that or to fix the situation. I would not even, frankly, if you had, when you were thinking about doing it, if you had come down to my office and closed the door and said, look, I got problems at home, this is what's happening at home, this is what's, you know, he checks my phone, you know, we have these kinds of conversations, he said, I would have identified him, which I have, as a certain type. I would have probably said, look, I'm not a marriage counselor, I'm not in a position to do that for you or anybody else in this office. If you've got that kind of trouble, that's the kind of thing you need to seriously talk to a counselor about, see what can be done about it. But I'm not, and in my mind, I would have been saying, okay, and I told you this, but I don't know that you internalized it or understood it. I've known for a long time, and I used to think about, I guess the last day in office, I'll come wandering by here and stick my head in and say, by the way, Jamie, I've been in love with you for years and just thought I'd tell you that before I go and retire. I would have had it in the back of my mind that, okay, being as how you feel like you do about this girl, there is nothing that you need to say to her about this. There's nothing you need to do about this, because anything that you try to do or say is going to be colored by the fact that you are emotionally involved, at least in your own mind. So, you know, I know how to answer that. I know how to deal with it. I'm a grown up. I know how to deal with that. I'm not crazy.
Yeah, but I still don't know how I'm supposed to deal with that. You know, I can't have the.
I'm not asking you to send me texts or write me love notes or even keep that. You burn that or give it back to me. I'm not asking you to do any of that. You made that clear, and I understand that, and I haven't done that. Okay, I haven't sent you anything else. I've got you freaking Christmas presents. I've got, well, 3 of the 4 Christmas presents. And I bought you something for Valentine's Day, but it's hidden away, as a matter of fact. I asked you what you want me to do with them, you never said, so and they'll still be there, I guess, on Friday, January the 1st, 2027, when I do have walked out of here and my successor walks in, he'll say, what's in the bag? And somebody will say, well, it's some stuff that he left here. I'm not going to do anything like that. You told me not to. I'm disciplined enough not to do that. I'm not. When I said I was in good health, I am in perfectly good health. Everything still works. I don't mind telling you everything still works, and I'm not out of practice. I can't think of any experience I would relish or cherish more than to make love to you. But that's not going to happen for a number of different reasons. For a lot of different reasons. It's not going to happen. Even if you were to come to me, and I've had this conversation with you several times in my mind too, even if you were to come to me one day and say, I'm ready, no, we're going to talk for a long, long time about what this means and what it means to even consider something like that. It ain't going to happen. I know myself better than that, and I'd like you to know me better than that. But I also know I have appreciated, and I do appreciate, there are things that I said when I was standing up there against the wall. I know what I can have and what I can't have. I don't know if you know what you can have and can't have. No, I'm not going to do anything overt. I'm not going to do anything tangible. You've got everything. I'll show you what I got you. I took one of them myself. One of your Christmas presents. I decided to keep it for myself and just pretend you gave it to me because it was an impulse buy. Everything else was very carefully planned. You would appreciate if you saw them. And I would tell you the story about how one of them, how I came into possession of one of them. And anyway, but one of them was an impulse buy. The last day I was in the Christmas market, I decided when you didn't respond at all about it, that I'd just keep it. and it's not in the bag, it's in my desk drawer. I know better than that. I'm not gonna do anything overt. I understand why the picture's covered. I'm kinda surprised the little angel's still up there. But I understand that. I'm not trying to sell you anything, please. I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm answering your question. You asked me how I would deal with that, I'm telling you. I repeat.
I don't need the stress of trying to go through my phone every day to make sure that everything's kosher. What should and shouldn't be deleted.
I haven't taken anything, I have not sent you anything since, in fact, I don't remember.
Well, I mean, even if something since October, I was, driving home every day trying to think what needs to be deleted or cleaned out of my phone to where I don't have any problems. I mean, is that a little much in a marriage? Yeah, but at the same time, I could pretty much understand where any husband wouldn't want to see some of that sent to their wife by somebody.
And I haven't sent you anything since.
Right, but when I sent you the text in December, I was saying, if you want to apply a personal reason, that would be if that one's the only one I had, that would be a good one.
I understand.
And worrying about my phone, worrying about emails, worrying about stuff like that, getting in trouble or causing any trouble or causing anybody any harm or any more harm in their life or jeopardizing jobs, which I don't feel I'm being selfish by saying anything about.
No.
It's
No,
my
no.
job. It's important. It's what I have to have. I mean, you have to have your job. I don't want to do anything to jeopardize my job. I don't want to do anything to cause me to have to make a decision to leave here.
I told you a long time ago, if you go, I go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think that's a joke.
Yeah, well, you've already said you called the governor about a job. So you've at least thought about that.
I thought about it because I just wanted to take the stress off of you.
Well, don't do
If you were
that.
hiding from me and avoiding me, then it was not a bad idea for me to just say, okay, I just won't cause her that problem.
Well, then I'm in a better position to do something like that than you are.
But if you're not here, I don't want to be here. Anyway. I understand. I do, more than you think I do. And I'm apparently a lot more disciplined than you think I do. And I don't want to cause you problems, and I don't want to cause you trouble, and I'm not going to. You told me to stop, and I stopped. And I apologize if the little envelope I left you on Valentine's Day was wrong, but hell, it was Valentine's Day. What was I supposed to do?
I mean, if any other person found out anything about it in any ounce, just even a fraction, a little bit, lives are ruined.
I'm squared away on that.
And it doesn't take much, and especially around here. And it's my understanding, I mean, I could be wrong, but you've talked to a friend, but you've also talked to Tiffany a good bit about whatever.
Really?
I feel that way, yeah. She seems to be a mediator between the two of us, or...
She just knows when I'm sitting, don't take this the wrong way, but when I close the door to my office and I ask her not to come in and I'm sitting there by myself, she knows there's something wrong. I mean, it's like my friend in Fairburn. She knew there was something wrong without my having to come and tell her.
Yeah.
And then she comes in and tells me something that she knows about you, and whether I react or not, she can tell, and you're right, it's not a secret that if you're in a bad mood, I'm in a bad mood, or, that works that way, but that's why we're talking.
Yeah.
That's why we're having this conversation,
Right,
because I want
yeah.
that to stop.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anybody to think anything, and I told you when I came in, there's nothing wrong with my coming in and talking to you, just like I go in and talk to Tom, or Steve, or Jared, or anybody else.
Yeah, but obviously the topic of discussion is not the same.
Of course it is, but nobody knows that because the damn door's closed.
Well, True.
What I'm trying to do is, what I'm saying to you is, I want the relationship that you and I have, you can have the relationship, you can have whatever relationship with me you want. I'm not gonna turn you down. Okay, you tell me, okay, let's go back to pre-October the 11th. Fine, that's a hell of a lot better than what we've had in the last 3 months or 2 months since December, January, yeah, 3 months. It beats the pants off of that, which has been you hiding from me and avoiding me, and my trying to help you out by hiding from you and avoiding you, so you don't have to worry about avoiding me. That's fine. You want something a little different than that, something like I had described, where you felt like you could come in and at least come down to my office and say, morning, how are you? And not be offended when I say, I'm sorry, is somebody trying to get in?
No, Miriam just looked back to like, I guess they handled it, so she pointed down the hall, so.
If you wouldn't get offended when I say, morning, I love you, or even worse, I love you too. That's harmless too. It doesn't, I mean, that's the kind of thing that makes my day, even if all you did was come by and say, man, I knew that you somehow appreciated the fact that I was here and appreciated the fact that I care. You said a few minutes ago, and I said I've had not one positive glimmer since November 28th. And you said you when I didn't ask, but you said you do care. You care very much. Thank you very much for saying that. But you know, for me to know that you care makes a difference to me.
I do care. I care very much. I care very much about your feelings and your thoughts. I care very much about our relationship here. I care very much about my job. I care very much about your job. I care very much about the environment and the culture that's created here and my influence over the environment here and yours as well.
If we're both happy and smiling and ebullient, that will improve everything around here.
Right.
I have been told by Watson that you're going to have to get in a better mood.
She said that to you? Yeah.
Not you, me.
Well, I mean, you kind of played it off as this like she doesn't know. She just knows that you're in a bad mood. She's been a mediator. Or she has at least portrayed that to me, that she is mediating things and that she seems to know what's going on. She has portrayed that to me to the fact where I just assume she knows what's going on.
She said to me one time, well, she said to me more than once, you need to talk to Jamie. I said, okay. And then she one time, about a month ago, she said, you need to talk to Jamie. Whatever you had said or whatever was going on, she said, you need to talk to Jamie. Or y'all need to talk or something like that. And she said, I'll even mediate this. I said, no, I think not. Because there's no reason for somebody to mediate. You know, Jamie and I are grown-ups. No. She's been a good hire. Glad she's here.
Mm-hmm.
She's been very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
No, the lady in Fairburn knows. She knows everything. She knows things I'm not telling you, but I won't tell you.
Okay.
But,
Fair enough.
well, I mean, not having to do with you. She knows other things that are going on.
Yeah. Well, and I'm very glad that you have an outlet to somebody to talk to about those things. I mean, I don't have anybody to bounce. Okay, well, I don't have anybody to bounce those ideas other than you. You have someone else to bounce that off of that's appropriate, who can give you sound advice. I don't have that. I don't have someone giving me sound advice to tell me what to do or not do, or Jamie, this is how you're supposed to react and not react. I don't have any of that.
So I need to introduce you to her?
Well, I mean, that's not a fair mediator, if that's what you're asking for, and I don't need mediation.
I'm not talking about a mediator, I'm talking about somebody you can talk to,
Yeah, well,
but she's biased.
she would be. She would be
Would it
biased.
make you so uncomfortable to do what I've said?
What's that?
Weren't you listening?
To which point?
Would it make you so uncomfortable to come in the morning and just
Say hey?
say, hey?
No, I can do that.
Would it make you so uncomfortable to leave in the afternoon if I come by and, I mean, if you don't want me to tell you I love you, I'll stop doing that. Does that make you uncomfortable?
I just don't think it's right.
Why? You think it's not true?
I think it's true, but I don't think it's right for you to tell me.
Why?
Because I work for you. I'm married, you're married. You don't tell other people that you love them. I mean, you can have mutual friends, I suppose, but I mean, I have people that I love that I could say that I love, and Nick wouldn't be upset with me saying that I love somebody. I mean, because he would love them too. So to tell someone else that you love them is probably, I mean, he probably wouldn't appreciate. I'm just saying.
I understand.
And I do work for you. There's not one person that wouldn't hear anything remotely close to that and not say that's wrong, or mention it, or lose it over. I mean, maybe Tiffany knows everything. I don't know. It certainly feels that way. Or her and Leslie have indicated that they think something's going on. What's wrong? What's going on there? Is everything okay? I get asked that a good bit.
Do what?
I get asked that a good bit.
She should not ask you that anymore because I disabused her of that theory about a week ago.
Who? Leslie? If you did say anything, she didn't mention it to me, but I know she does ask, like, oh, what does he want? Is everything okay? She's very, quote unquote, worried and concerned. And Tiffany has said the same. And she has indicated that her and Tiffany do talk, quote unquote. Now, do I think Tiffany disobeys any confidences or breaks any confidences that you have in her? I don't get that impression, but they do talk.
I had a conversation with her about a week ago and explained, and when she said that she thought probably I had feelings, I said, don't go there.
Who, Tiffany or Leslie?
Leslie. I told her something I have not told you, have not told anybody except Miss Jones, Mrs. Jones. And, don't tell me what you see. Frankly, I lied. Okay? Sorry.
She says to you she thinks that you have feelings for me.
She thought back in October when I came in and I was in a really, really bad mood, which was the 15th and 16th. She said she got the impression then, she thought that what had happened was that I had some feelings for you and something had happened over the weekend. And I told her, I lied about that. I said, no, that's not true, but then I told her something that was true, that was an explanation of why, because there are other things going on in the world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't know that conversation ever happened. She never mentioned that to me, so.
Not anybody's business but hers and mine. And we had not had this conversation.
I do remember her saying that she had a very frank and good conversation with you, and she felt like you were going to be snapping out of that you were coming out of it, that you're going to be okay, and everything was okay, but she was very much goading me to try to get information. And I think she almost remotely left and was trying to pick at me, like thinking I would say something to give her any indication of that I knew what was wrong or what was going on.
You don't.
No, not at that time. No, I didn't say, oh, I can tell you what's going on. I didn't say anything like that. I think I did pretty much the same thing. It was something else or whatever. But I let her do almost all the talking to see what she was trying to get at. I don't know if she was just trying to tell me what was going on or if she was trying to get any other information from me. I don't know. And then Tiffany has very much indicated that if Leslie knows that much, Tiffany knows way more than that. She has been very open with me about that.
May I ask a favor?
Mm-hmm.
If I go put this back and go to the little boy's room, can I come back,
Sure. I'm here.
please?
Yes.
It means where do we go from here? And I hear what you say, and I have listened. I have a very good memory. And I have listened to everything you've said. And I will do exactly as you have asked and continue to respect your wishes. Like I say, if you'd like to see what I got you for Valentine's or Christmas, you can see them, but I'll keep them. If you don't want to, that's okay too. Okay, because I won't have to shop again for you this next Christmas. I'll just take those things out and look at them. Okay. All right, tell me what you're thinking.
Yes, ma'am?
Hey, I got Ruth Ann on the line for you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Hey, Ruth Ann.
Hey, just wanted to tell you that I just got home from the doctor's office and all that happy horse manure. He took 20% off, which, better than nothing.
Good. I'm glad. I figured they would do something for you.
Yeah, $624.28.
Oh, my Lord.
I know it's still a lot of money, but it could be worse. So I thought I'd just give you a call and tell you.
Well, thank you for telling me very much.
Oh, God.
Try and have a good weekend, and if you need me, call me, okay?
Okay, well, you have one, too.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
She's not doing well.
So tell me what you're thinking. And don't say you're not thinking anything and your mind's a blank. And
No, I didn't say that. It's not. I mean, I feel like the best thing is for us to try to go back to the way things were, and I appreciate you respecting my wishes. I'm sorry that you feel, if you feel like I don't care or that I'm cold, and I'm not. I do very much care. What?
no, you know what? That's what got me in trouble before.
What's that?
Not saying what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Not saying what I want to think. I have seen. This ain't my first time around the block. And you don't want, you just quit. When you got up the next morning, I know, I've got this all on a wonderful timeline, and I understand that. And your tongue would snap off if you looked at me and tried to say, I love you. I understand that. But I have seen it in your eyes, and I have heard it in your voice, and not the words, but I have heard it in the way you've said things to me. So, you don't have to tell me. But I would appreciate one thing. Tell me if you don't.
Yes, yes.
Tell you what?
If at some point, like right now, or sometime in the future, you decide you don't love me, tell me.
I mean, I love you, but I don't think in the way that you want me to love you. You can love somebody but not be in love with them.
I know that. I'm squared away on that. Now tell me what you think. Oh, don't do that. Come on. If you can't be straight with me, if you can't tell me anything you want to tell me, you feel like you need to tell me, then this is, you know.
I do miss the relationship that we had prior to October, and I would appreciate it trying to if that could happen again, if it can.
It's up to you.
I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to mess up anything here. I don't want to mess up careers. I don't want to mess up families. I don't want any drama. I don't want any trouble. I don't want any issues for me at home. I want to work, do a good job, be invested in my work, and I want to go home. And I want to have a peaceful life. I don't want any problems. I don't want, because I have said something or I haven't said something or done something for it to affect the whole office. I feel, and and I don't want you to feel like you need to call the governor for another position if it's going to be painful, if it's going to be hard moving forward or doing things like they were prior to October, I will be the one to leave. I will figure that out. I will work that out. I will make that happen.
You have any questions you want to ask me? And please remember that one time, and I don't know that you feel obligated or bound by this, but at one time, you and I promised each other we would never not be honest with the other one, and I've been very honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I would have said yesterday more than I should have been, but I ain't gonna do that anymore. I don't know how to be any other way. I'm sorry, but it was not pleasant to lie to Leslie, but that was for your protection and my protection. But yours more than mine. But it is not.
Do you not feel like you have a lot to lose?
Yeah, but the answer is yes, but I'm crafty enough to avoid that. And I don't mean dishonest enough, I mean I'm just careful enough to avoid that, and I'm sorry if I haven't given that impression. And I probably haven't. But, and again, you can laugh or shake your head or think, my God, what an idiot he is. But, you know, this is a little bit over the top for me. Unexpected. And I think, without knowing, that it was probably unexpected for you as well. You really didn't expect to feel that way either. What bugs me is that you won't admit it. It's great expressions. I wish I had a camera. Some of the great expressions I'm getting from you. But you said, I don't know if I know what it means to be in love anymore. And I think that was as dead on accurate a statement as you've made ever. And I think I will, if this is worrisome or bothersome to you, you'll have to adjust your behavior accordingly. I told you in October I had been in love with you for about 4 years, and you have your own opinion about the veracity of that statement. You told me on November the 2nd, I don't remember anything else you said that day except that you said, I know you love me. Oh, okay, cool, I appreciate that. But I told you I've been in love with you for about 4 years, so it was a surprise to me too. I mean, it wasn't expected, it wasn't something I was looking for, I wasn't on the make, I don't do that. You said if I were really that kind of, not that kind of person, that you would be surprised because that would make me a very rare individual. And again, I'm sure that's probably true, that I may be a rare individual, but anyway, it was a surprise to me. I did not expect it. And some of the emotions that I felt, some of the things that I felt that I have not told you, when I look back on them, oh, crud. Yeah, that's surprising. Yeah, that was interesting. You want me to tell you what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking. I mean, I don't know what you're referring to.
You remember 7 years ago? You walked down to my office door and said, well, as you can see, I've got myself pregnant. Remember that? You know what? I was jealous. And I think back, why would you, I don't know if that's where it started, because there had to have been something there for me to feel that way. But even that far back, I was jealous. And I repeat, it was a surprise to me. But it had been there, and I had, like I say, I had thought for a long time, I didn't do a damn thing about it. I mean, you gotta give me credit for that. If you don't give me credit for the 2 days where you were standing there crying and I just politely kept my hands to myself, at least give me credit for the fact that for some serious number of years, I just kept my mouth shut. I wasn't gonna cause problems or embarrass you or embarrass myself. And I really did think that on my last day in office, I'd stop by and say, just so you know. But I'm sure you've had plenty of men tell you that they were in love with you. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. But like I say, it was a surprise to me. And I'm going to tell you this, and you adjust your behavior accordingly. A year ago, when you were, it wasn't just a year ago, I'm talking about, that was just a point in time, I'm just saying a year ago. But you were coming down to the office, I was coming down here, we were going places, doing a lot of things together. And I will tell you that it is my impression, I'll go further than that, I think I can point it out. I think that's when you were falling in love with me, but you didn't know it.
I don't guess I see it that way.
I don't think you did. I think you made an accurate statement that last, I can even tell you where I was going north on May too, when you said that. I know that, I understand that. But if you ever decide you'd like to meet Ms. Jones, let me know. She has said 2 or 3 times that she would love to meet you and would love to sit down and talk to you.
Well, I mean, she's a good outlet for you. Sounds like a real good friend to have and good person to have in your life.
I don't see her but 2 or 3 times a year. And like I say, we trade messages every once in a while, a text, but usually on Messenger. And usually it's about her daughters. So
Yeah.
I've known her for a long time. What else you want to know?
I think that's enough for today.
I'm sorry if I've spoiled your afternoon.
You haven't spoiled it. Nick's out of town, so he's at the NCAA wrestling tournaments. For wrestling for the coaches, they all go every year. It's an annual thing. So me and the kids are home and having a good time and doing things together, and so got lots planned this weekend.
Good.
Yeah. So looking forward to it. Time with my babies.
I won't send you any texts. I haven't, and I won't. Even business, I won't do that. I'll find some other way to communicate.
Okay.
I won't send you any emails, and I won't do anything overt because you don't think it's appropriate for me to say it.
Well, I would like for it to be a comfortable relationship, like working relationship like we had. I would like for it to be that way.
I repeat, that's up to you.
Well, that's what
You're
I
the
want.
one that's hiding in your office. Don't do that.
My door's always open. I'm really not hiding.
Oh, yeah, when you stay away, I'd love to know what you do when I'm not here.
The same thing. Honestly.
You never did that before.
Just stayed down here.
You never stayed down here like that before.
And that might not have a lot to do with you. It's a lot about me.
Maybe. I understand.
I just stay in my comfort zone, and I don't even go out for lunch very often. 'Cause it feels like anxiety or anxious, or I got to get back, and I'm away from the office, and so I'm just comfortable in here. Other than sometimes I'll go run some errands or take a phone call, or the girls are in here rotating like a rotating door all day long, and listen to people's problems and talking to them. I'm always here. Minus the soccer coaching that I've decided to crazy volunteer to do.
Crazy is right.
Yep. But it's been a good outlet for me.
Was my assumption.
A real good outlet for me.
That was my assumption.
So, surprisingly so.
Would you promise me one thing?
Yeah,
If you need anything, you tell me.
I will.
If you
You've
need
done
me,
enough, and I appreciate it all.
If you need me, you call me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Please don't be afraid to call me. And please don't think I wouldn't come if you needed me.
I appreciate that. That means a lot, and thank you for saying that.
It's more fun if it's a two-way street, but I won't care any less because you don't feel the same way. Because you say you love me, but not the way I want to be loved. I'm not sure how I want to be loved. I'm not even sure that's nice, always, to know that somebody cares. But it was and is more important for me, and that's one of the things that why I asked you for a minute or two a month ago. More often than not, what drives me is to find a way to let you know that I care,
I know you care.
and that I still care, and that I haven't stopped, and I won't. Even, like I say, however many years, if you picked up the phone, I'd still come. And if you picked up the phone and said, "You still love me?" Mm-hmm. If I change my mind, I'll tell you. It just helps me to know. It helps me to know that you know. If I know that you know.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
That means more than anything else.
Well, I'm glad we talked, and hopefully we can, or if you say it's on me, I'll try to get back to the way things were.
Well, I will do my best. I will do my part. That doesn't mean you have to come down there every day and sit in the chair. Please don't avoid me. That
Okay.
makes me feel like that makes me feel like I've done something terribly wrong, and I don't think I've done anything wrong. I don't think caring about you, not using the words that you don't like, I don't think caring about you is wrong. I don't think that I'll tell you this, you might could appreciate this more than I have appreciated it, but I have wondered in the last couple of weeks if God was mad at me. I do not believe that you get punished on earth for whatever your sins are. I think if you live right, and even my atheist sister doesn't lie, cheat, or steal, so, you know, she's 81 and she's ticking right along. And nothing evil has happened to her. She had her husband for 50-something years. I don't think you get punished on earth. I think if you don't live right, if you lie, cheat, and steal, that good things aren't going to happen to you. And that you can't complain if bad things happen to you if you're living bad. But I don't think you get punished, and I began to wonder, why is God mad at me? I haven't done anything. I really don't think I've done anything that horribly wrong. I'm, you know, like St. Paul, I'm chief of sinners though I be. I haven't done anything that wrong. I haven't killed anybody. Haven't cheated anybody, lied, cheated, or stolen. But I was beginning to feel, again, just everybody needs it's the right word, reinforcement.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it was important to me to continue to try to find ways to make sure you knew that I care about you. It doesn't hurt my feelings for you to say you care about me, but again, it was important for me to make sure you knew.
Well, I do. Thank you.
Okay. What else?
Nothing I can think of.
Now what are you thinking? Oh, come on now. What were you thinking? Tell me. Even if it's, why doesn't he leave?
I wasn't thinking that. I don't know what else. I was thinking, well, I don't know what else to say or ask or where do I go from here. It is what it is. Just let it,
That's my plan.
yeah. Okay,
As long as you know.
I do.
Okay. I will leave you alone.
Thank you.
Not necessary. Thank you. I had no idea how I would be received. I had no idea whether you would tell me after 5 minutes the door was right there. Well, I've been trying to do this since the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that you.
Well, on another note, Dad texted me earlier and said something about, my dad texted me earlier and said, did you have a copy of his lease? I said, well, didn't you leave here with it?
No, I've got it.
Okay. So he needs a copy of it. But he didn't say what for, and I didn't ask him. But I said, didn't you leave here with one? And he said something like that maybe he did, or,
I'll give you a copy. I've got it.
okay, I guess